Everybody loves an underdog. Who needs to be liked?
Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Check Steam.
Hello everybody and welcome to ESEA League's Mountain Dew League playoffs. This is round 1 of the lower bracket. My name is the Bulldozer and joining me is Ire with Mitch on production. How you doing, Ire?
I'm doing lovely this fine evening. I'm ready to get into some fine Australian Counter-Strike, as you do on every night. And what a better game to do it on. We've got Ground Zero versus VERTEX here in the lower bracket round 1 of this MDL playoffs.
Yeah, we just casted Ground Zero last week playing against Rooster.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they lost that match 2-0. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched it yet. But, you know, not to be outdone, they're ready to come back. VERTEX ready to make a name for themselves, keep moving up in these playoffs, and we'll see what these players can put together in this match.
Yeah, VERTEX also lost their first match 2-0. Back then they had the name Bants, and they lost it to 2-0 to Order. So, I mean, Order, one of the best teams in the league, so definitely no big surprise there. That's kind of throwing a lot of shade, but to say the least. And Ground Zero, they're still not playing with their full lineup, it should be noted. They are having HUD's, their coach, in. And I don't know exactly who he's replacing, but they do not have their full lineup.
Yeah, and
I believe it's Maker, but I could be wrong.
And HUD's in the last match, kind of, not the regular player for this team, and he was having a little bit of trouble in the last match, but, you know, if they've been preparing for that a little better and they've understood that, you know, what they're going to be dealing with going into this game, I should expect, you know, either him to perform a little better or for the team to maybe play around that a little more. However, Ground Zero is missing a player as it is anyway, and they're currently having a discussion in all chat on whether or not he's going to be showing up. So,
Yeah,
let's see how that sounds.
Yeah, supposedly someone is asleep.
Yeah, I'm listening to all this, and it's really something.
I've seen him do this before.
Because it's coming for you, right?
I think they stopped talking.
Yeah, of course, they stop talking as soon as we start listening.
Oh, unfortunate.
But yeah, so Ground Zero have, from what I've gleaned from people screaming in voice chat pre-game, one of their players is asleep and they're trying to ring him. And who knows what's gonna happen, really.
Yeah, someone's MIA, and...
Yeah. So if you happen to maybe know any skilled Australian Counter-Strike players that could ring...
Anyone in the chat?
Anyone in chat, yeah. Engagement challenge. So you can just get right on in there. I don't know who you talk to, but we'll make it work.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't know who to talk to, but we'll put you in touch with Ground Zero.
Yeah. But anyway.
We got map picks for tonight. First of all, VERTEX banned Train, Ground Zero banned Overpass, and then VERTEX picked Dust 2, Ground Zero starting CT side, and then Ground Zero picked Inferno, and VERTEX, it doesn't say VERTEX on my list. VERTEX picked T side for Inferno, and then finally VERTEX banned Nuke, Ground Zero banned Vertigo, and there's just Mirage left. So that's going to be our third map, Dust 2, Inferno, Mirage. Very simple, easy setup maps, nothing, you know, all these players should be infinitely familiar with this pool. Should make for some interesting and compelling gameplay out of these players. Isn't that right, Ire?
Yeah, I mean, it really is. These are all just classic pug maps. You know, everyone knows them, everyone plays them. And really, that could lean in VERTEX's favor if HUD's is not going to be picking up his game significantly because, you know, when all the tactics are pretty simple, everyone knows roughly everything there is to know about the map at this level. That DM can really be the edge, and if HUD's is dropping another just not particularly great stat line, then that could be a big issue for Ground Zero.
Yeah, it could certainly, you know, be a little bit of a holdup for this team. But Counter-Strike is a game that is strongly decided off of individual play, and it's not as if you can't play around or make concessions for a player who is maybe underperforming a bit. But I've only seen Huds play in one game, so I don't even know how good he is. Normally, that could have been completely unusual for him. So I'm excited to see how Ground Zero approaches this match, frankly.
Yeah, and I think he could just be put into more supportive roles. Being used to like set up his star players with grenades. I saw Burn in that game just went off. Pears also did pretty well for himself, I remember. So
yeah,
it's not like they don't have star power.
Yeah, whereas in that Mirage game, it seems as though Huds' job was really to hold apartments on B for when teams pushed in, and it really just sort of made him the sacrificial lamb of Ground Zero for when teams would push in. So, if they could try and set that up in these maps in a way that sort of benefits them more, then it's definitely not an insurmountable obstacle for them.
Oh yeah, definitely. But it could also just be, I don't know how long they've been playing with Huds at this point. I don't know exactly when their player went missing, but it could just be that like, hey, we haven't been playing with him very long. We need to slot him into our system, figure out how this is all going to work. And it could just be growing pains, really. But I think they have the brain power.
Yeah, it's all gonna really. That's the big question mark, the wild card for Ground Zero going forward. As for VERTEX, I don't really know anything about them, so I can't actually say, they need to do this or this. They're here. They're in Mountain Dew League playoffs, sponsored by Game Fuel. So I have to imagine that they're quite good at what they do.
I mean, they're definitely better than the average Joe. But, that's not really going to matter because they have to be better than Ground Zero, not the average Joe.
Yeah, and Ground Zero is not the average Joe either. So,
more of a
once
Steve.
we get a 10th player in here, I'd love to get a game going, but obviously we have no control over that.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. People were saying they will not forfeit wins, so there will be a game. When? Who knows? But there will be. And,
and until
we're
that
just
happens,
along for the ride.
We're here to take you through it, but not a ton to talk about in that sense.
Yeah, we don't even get the podcast that was being put on in all chat earlier while we were waiting to go live.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
At the very least, from what we saw, that these players are clearly pumped. I think their blood pressure was highly elevated. It sounded like he was about to burst a vein.
Yeah, Raffleco was screaming in all chat.
Yeah,
which makes for
really
well. I guess we can stop talking about that since the viewers aren't going to be able to hear that. But it sounds like they're all very excited. They're raring to go, and so are we. Once we get a 10th player.
Yeah, where is Noobster? Does anyone know? Have you seen this man? Can we put him on some milk cartons, maybe?
Where in the world is Noobster CSGO? We need to find him. He played quite well in the game versus Rooster. So, dare I say, they need him to play quite well again.
Yes, they do. Yeah, he was their main operator as well, if memory serves me correctly. So, losing him, if that is the case, will be a pretty big blow.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I don't.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought that we got a player back. I thought the Noobster had showed up, but it was just Raffleco joining joining the CT team. So,
What if Bance's coach plays for them and Raffleco just switches teams?
Now we would have a game in front of us. That would surely be something.
Playoffs pug scrim. Yeah, we don't really know what's going on here. We'll try to keep you posted if we do find anything out.
This is gonna sound crazy, but we don't have the greatest connections to the Australian CS:GO scene.
Well, if you give me a bit, I can swim there.
Oh yeah, I've got my wonderful can of Mountain Dew, sponsored by Mountain Dew League.
This is the Mountain Dew League, And
Gets me pumped. It's my blood pumping.
It's not just the Mountain Dew League. It's also the ESEA Mountain Dew League. And ESEA,
Play.esea.net.
It's where the pros play.
It's where the pros play. So if you want to be as good as these players, all 9 of them, then you should go sign up for ESEA. Go play some pugs.
Yeah, play some pugs, play the league. Maybe we'll be casting you someday. Maybe
guys are having everybody's talking in chat right now. Oh my gosh, they're yelling.
God, Raffleco's back on it.
Yeah, comms are very loud right now. They stopped talking.
Oh, and of course, again, instantly leaves as soon as we try to listen in. But, regardless, I mean, we'll just have to find out what's going on. I'm just trying to, like, glance at chat, and people are telling me to, like, check Twitter or whatever, but I can't really do that right now.
Yeah, like, we don't have... Like, what Twitter do I look up? I don't know these
I
players.
found Noobster's Twitter, but there's obviously nothing on there.
Noobster's Twitter says, totally dipping on this CSGO match.
Yeah. It says he's a playa for Ground Zero, which doesn't really check out right now.
Yeah. We're kinda... lost. Like,
What do we even do here? Well, maybe we talk about some do, but not the kind of things you do with yourself, like Mountain. That was a terrible segment.
Yeah, that was pretty bad, man.
That was, honestly, I bungled that one.
But you know what? It's all a learning process. This is how we grow in the world.
Okay, yeah, someone's DM'd me on Twitter. Shout out to whoever MNMZZZ is. Oh, has DM'd me a tweet by Raffleco, tweeting at Noobster saying, "Wake up, we have MTL playoffs."
What time is it, Motion?
Apparently,
Oh, I saw him in chat.
Yeah.
You're not on top of that, Mitch.
Yeah, Mitch is baiting us here.
Hold up. In-game comms on. Yeah. What time is it, Race? What time is it, Jeremy? Game time! Ah!
Alright, that was certainly eventful. But yeah. So apparently there's someone named Licky coming in, is what I've been told.
Like I said, I saw that name in chat earlier, but I don't know if that's for realsies, because I don't know anything about these players. But I want the game to start because it is 3:30 a.m. for me here in Texas.
Yeah.
Shout out to time zones, because
Yeah.
those are really epic.
Yeah, I've also apparently, well, if Twitch chat, the most reliable source of all information, just behind Wikipedia, is to be believed. Apparently, Licky was once on their team, but is no longer on their team and was kicked. Who knows what's going on? But he is in the server.
Shit. He actually joined.
Yeah, GZ Licky.
So maybe he was just still on the roster or something.
Yeah, they hit him up. They said, like, you know, we'll give you a Macy's gift card. It's got like $1 on it. Play for us.
See, here's the struggle for me, because I'm gonna have a hard time casting if Raffle is screaming over all chat this entire game. But like, I don't want to turn it off because I can miss stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to find a balance, right?
There's some commotion in the air. Don't have before I break your legs. Of course. Never in real life. Ben will not be okay after we win this best of 3.
Oh shit, game's starting.
Yes, game is starting. We are into the... I guess it would be the... No, we can't have a knife round because we already decided the sides.
Yeah, it was because... Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, we will be getting into the real pistol round. Ground Zero starting on the counter-terrorist side. And
let's see
we'll just see where it goes.
How they want to orient themselves. And more specifically, let's see how VERTEX Still says Bance at the top of my screen. See how Vertex wants to orient themselves going into their first pistol round on the attack side. On the T side, Ire.
Yeah, this isn't some other game. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know if we're allowed to say names of other games on stream. Alright, then.
But we
We're
do
keeping it
have
clean.
the green text.
The legendary
The
green
Fable.
text match going to be starting, and we're going to see the entirety of Vertex heading over towards the B side. The fabled B rush, Ire.
Yes, the classic strategy, really.
Yeah, it's Vance pushing in through the tunnel, getting a quick pick on the Llamas, following it up, killing Leaky. However, Pears returning 2 frags onto Brace and Motion. Huds goes down. And finally, it is just going to be one player trying to push in through tunnel. Gonna get taken out pretty quickly. Oh, excuse me, Burn's still up. And we've seen Burn do some great stuff. Burn, certainly not out of the question of him being able to clutch to the side in any sense. It is just Raffleco and Addict up. Both of them very low. Flash coming out, and it is going to be bomb plant, or at least a fake.
What are you doing, old man? What are you doing?
Yeah, for the time being, at least. Let's try to get that out. But it will be first round going to Vertex off of that.
Yeah. However, money not great for GZ. We do see Pears buying a FAMAS. Very aggressive move. He did get 3 kills in that first round. Gonna make his money a little better than the rest of his team. But other than that, we've got, AKs coming out for Vertex. Gonna be able to be a little more aggressive in their implementation of this push. However, Pears gonna make it a 4v3 in favor of Ground Zero. Brace trades out, taking out Pears. Oh my gosh, everybody's talking in all chat.
Yeah.
I'm following
And,
Addict here, who's pushing up long. He's going to be able to find the pick onto Leaky. And it's just going to be Llamas up, walking around. And that's going to be a second round for Vertex. Alright,
Oh, yeah.
I need to disable voice.
Unfortunately, you're also going to have to kind of carry me because my game's just crashed.
Yeah.
Just like so many things don't want us to cast Counter-Strike. The gods have smitten my game.
Alright,
I'll
well
just
then
have
I
to
guess
restart that real quick.
I gotta Iron Man this real quick. We have Vertex trying to play around long right now. A little less aggressive than they were in this last round. Flash is coming out onto B as well. See what kind of picks they can find. Players have committed to B site, but there's nobody from Ground Zero that's looking to really try and hold this for the time being. Burn's gonna trade out with Brace. Brace taking out Licky before he goes down. And Falcon takes out Burn. Falcon takes out Pears, and he's gonna have B site secured, but the bomb is over on A long. So we're going to have Motion just sort of floating around a little bit for now, while we have these players pushing up A long, who are going to find themselves taking it pretty freely, as it is just Llamas up for Ground Zero. Molly cutting off Cat while the bomb plant goes down, and that's going to at least enable them that money bonus. However, this is certainly looking like a commanding third round for Vertex.
Well, I guess of everything you said, that did sound very good for them. So I still can't see it.
Alright, well it looks like we're going to have our first real rifle round going into the 4th round. Burn picking up the off, looking like Licky's going to be just on the rifle roll. Motion sticking with this SMG. I'm interested in the aggression coming out of it. I guess if he's there playing the entry role anyway, then it's not the strangest thing to decide. But we have a lot of players from Vertex pushing in through tunnels, going to find their way onto the B site. Going to get an early pick on the Llamas. However, both Motion and Raffleco going to go down. Licky picking up 2 there. Going to be taking it down to now a 1v4. It's just Brace walking around in mid, and he's going to be cleaned up pretty quickly by Pears. Quick 4th round going to Ground Zero. They're going to win their first round, and they're going to be able to find themselves a little more comfortable in their economy.
Yeah, it's really hard in the current meta to get sort of bedded in, especially as a CT side in the current meta. So it's really important that they found these early rounds and really kind of stabilized in that regard, because then you can afford to kind of lose a round here or there, and not your economy's not just dead.
Yeah, and we're gonna have players once again slowing down a little bit. Lots of players in looking to peek A long, standing in this double doors, but Amali's gonna cut that off. Figure out if they want to maybe repush somewhere else, or if they just want to wait for the fire to fade and then try and push back through. However, we do have Pears watching these double doors, sort of hiding over in the pit area. We're going to see if he's able to get these frags. However, he's going to go down immediately to a shot from Falcon. You see the rotates coming out of ground zero. Are they going to be able to make it in time to try and stop this? You have 4 players on long, 1 player walking up CAD. That 1 player is going to be Motion. He's peeking. No, excuse me, Brace. Who's watching those double doors as well. Attic rotating to help him. And it's 3 players on site right now. 1 player pushing through lower tunnels is going to be Llamas. However, we're going to see these trades coming out favoring Bant. And you're going to see ground zero on the back foot now. 2v4. Licky's down to 22 health. Llama's kind of lurking right now, and he needs to figure out if he wants to look for frags or if he wants to try and save. And it looks like it's going to be a save for both of these players.
Yeah, just the smart decision, probably, on all honesty, to make. It's never like, it's not like it's cowardly to just give up the save. Especially when you have this little round padding. It's not the end of the world to just forfeit the round and give yourself a better chance in future to make something work.
Yeah, the economy being very punishing in CS. We do have that is Llamas watching the double doors, looking for exit frags, and he's kind of being hunted right now. It's a wonder of whether he's going to be able to make it. No, he's not going to be able to make it out with that rifle. So Llamas is going to go down. Licky is going to stay alive. And the money not super great for ground zero right now. They're going to be able to get, a couple rifles out of this, but
yeah,
the utility is not going to be really as expansive as they would like it to be.
They did actually manage to get an op onto Burn. That's a little surprising. And I guess Burn will be the primary operator going forward as Noobster is not here. But yeah, it just tries to take a really fast peek long, and that doesn't manage to get it. The T's are straight in with a long take, pretty standard. But they did eat a 50 damage nade onto Brace and Addict.
Very clean
still gonna
movement
find
on Burn.
pairs.
Finding his way on the catwalk. Gonna get a pick onto Falcon. Lots of other players in a long huddling. And Burn is gonna get spammed down. Huds is gonna trade that out for Brace. And you're gonna see a real scrappy fight going on A site right now. You have 3 players from ground zero pushing in from CT, while you
They went
have
for the boost.
You have these 2 T players on site, not going to have time to get the plant due to this Molotov, effectively blocking the entire site. Raffleco is going to find Llamas. HUD's going to go down to the op from Motion. Raffleco is going to pick up Licky as well. And I'd imagine they do not get the bomb planted. That's fine. They won the round. Not the biggest of downsides.
Yeah, that was just such a bad positioning on the retake for ground zero. Like, when you're all coming from one place, especially something that's like CT, where you're pushing it on low ground into a basically crossfire, it's not a good situation to come in. It's just going to be a light buy, some pistols for those who can afford it, a bit of armor, some nades, but
yeah,
nothing much to write home about.
We are seeing VERTEX leaning towards the B site, all kind of stacking with the rifles. They understand that eco has to be very bad for ground zero right now, which it is. They've all got pistols, and you're going to see VERTEX picking up these 2 early frags on both Llamas and Licky. Going to be taking the B site pretty comfortably. Motion posted up. Trying to look for a good angle that he can find the rotates from.
Yeah, this is just trying to find exit
good
bags
shot.
on GC. Oh yeah, nice. It was a nice shot, but yeah, Paris will go on the end. I honestly would have liked to see Vance or VERTEX use more of their utility and just like take their time, because while yeah, there was only 1 guy in the site, there could have been a full stack there. Then the last thing you want to do is run blind into pistols and not clear your corners, because that's how you lose these rounds.
That is very worth noting, because the players in an eco, they... Whoa!
Oh, was that just a lucky shot? I didn't catch that.
It happened
It was through the mid
to...
smoke, so it had to have been.
Yeah. Motion finding a great shot onto Licky. They're going to put this in immediate disadvantage as Licky was rotating to B, which is going to signal to VERTEX that B is completely open, with the exception of Llamas holding it. And that they really have an opportunity to try and exploit this if they'd like to.
Yeah. Well, that being said, they don't know if anyone's rotated. They don't have any eyes on mid. They are all in tons. The classic Llamas could have gotten an amazing spray down, only got 1, was traded by Addict. And that's just going to be sight completely in the hands of Vance. Pairs going down in the flank will basically seal this. Like, B is such a hard site to retake, and now with even a 2-man disadvantage, it's just, nah. Call it off. You have an op, you have an M4, you can save that into the next round.
Yeah, and ground zero agrees with you. They're already doing what they can to save.
And, yeah, I don't know, just... Oh. Yeah, no one finding much of anything, just Probably, yeah, they're all the way out. Burns on car.
Yeah, Vertex
Hudson is
understands
long.
where they've backed out to, and they're not really looking to look for the frags at the moment. Due to the threat of the op on long, they really would never be able to make it. Unless they pushed all the way around to A double doors, they would never make it in time to try and get in the exit frags. You know, they would just get holes poked in them from a distance.
That is true. But they're going to try to make these saved weapons work. We'll have to see how they want to approach this round. If they just want to save around them, or if they want to try and support them with pistols, light by, maybe force. There's a lot of different routes you could go, and it's looking like, yeah, it's just going to be some light pistols to go with that, some armor.
Ooh.
And Burn, he's peak mid, and managed to find one, but did get traded. And, I mean, that's the plays you need to make if you're the hero op in that round. Like, you can't just be sitting holding some angle. You need to make a pick work for your team.
Especially if you have a player on your team that you're confident can pick up that op roll, because at the end of the day, you're trading out a pistol for a rifle, and Leaky finding a second kill. However, Vertex going to push through mid very aggressively, going to find Licky and Llamas. So it's going to be down to Huds on the Deagle, pairs with the M4.
And now just Huds.
Yeah, and Vertex going to be taking...
Yeah.
Oh, Hud's floating on mid, look at that rifle. He is actually going to find motion, which is pretty big. Hud's going to pick up that op and going to be able to save it.
Yeah, recovering the op, that's really big, because, you know, Huds is like, at that point, you're just looking to save the rifle, and the fact that he not only lives, but manages to pick up that op would be really big for the econ going to the next round. Oh, no, but he can't quite make it into pit. Brace was aware, he was on his tippy toes.
Not able to connect that shot. Did take the op out of Vertex's hands, which is, you know, it's their eco's not their eco's not starving, but it's certainly gonna do something, because more than anything, Ground Zero does need to try and do what they can to.
Motion is gonna go for this fast long peek again. Unfortunately, not gonna find the shot through smoke. Almost did. That was very close on the line from the X-ray, but just gonna eat a nade for his troubles, and surprisingly still staying in that door. It's not too uncommon to see 2 nades stacked there, so could have potentially died for it, but I mean, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, and as the smoke fades, Motion is watching long. Paris is going to be standing in pit looking for him. They're not going to be able to peek each other. However, Ruffleco is going to find 2. He's going to find both Burn, the Opper, and Llamas over on mid. And he's finally going to get traded out by Huds. Pear's going to find Motion, and suddenly this round looks a little bit better for the likes of Ground Zero. Bomb's going to go down on A. However, it's not as if Ground Zero doesn't have options to try and repush this. They have rifles. They've taken the op out of Vertex's hands, which is going to certainly make trying to push an A a little bit easier for them. And, you know, you just see Huds and Licky lining up on Catwalk and ready to trade these kids. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Vitch is really just baiting us on these. He was trying to get us to listen into the comms, but came in right at the tail end of them. But that is another round to Vertex, aka Bance. And I don't know, Ground Zero, they need to get a footing here, something, anything. And maybe the double scout is the answer on Huds and Leaky. Surprised not to see Burn, but then again, his deagle is mental if last cast was any indication. They will find a tag onto Falcon, but Llamas was traded down really well. I think he got tagged through mid doors. So, damage traded, all things considered.
Yeah.
Oh, but Leaky! He got peeked by the op. He doesn't care. He gets the headshot. The more skilled weapon, reigning superior.
Yeah, and Licky trying to watch Catwalk right now, seeing if anybody comes to pick up that op. Attic grabs it. Oh, it looks like they're going to leave it there for now. And we see, however, all of Vertex kind of taking A comfortably. You're going to see Ground Zero lining up to try and push through Cat in a moment here. You know, I have to say that this favors Vertex, but stranger things have happened in CS.
I mean, it's all going to come down to just who can land a hero shot on Ground Zero. We've got Pears just inching his way up Cat. Hasn't really been challenged until just now. And Vertex, they're holding off on this bomb plan until just now, having it cross CT. And yeah, Pears, he hears the bomb plant, tries to peek out and find the planter. Not going to find him. And yeah, all those frags should secure it. It's only Huds. And he'll just have to see what damage he can find. He's got a tag. He actually got a second.
And that's going to give him an AK here. Whether he wants to save that or try and fight something with it. He's going to back out. But you already have Falcon rotating B, trying to see if he can catch him out. But Huds is gone. He's all the way out.
Ben, are you okay with on it from day one, man? Like, now he knows what it feels like.
Bro, Hudson, he demanded the respect, bro. I wasn't giving him respect, and he was demanding it, bro. He's actually insane.
I know.
Hudson sort of got my nuts, bro. I'm a bit afraid.
Well, he's saying he's afraid of HUDs, and it really seems like he has found, maybe he's been grinding his DMs since that last game where he had a bit of a stinker, not gonna lie. I mean, expected from, someone who obviously isn't known for their play being the coach, but, you don't want to see it. You never want to let your boys down.
For what it's worth, I would still expect the coach of a Mountain Dew League team to be pretty good at CS himself.
Yeah, maybe he's just a pug lord himself, but I mean, hey, he's really warmed up into this one, doing pretty well for himself, outfranking llamas. So,
yes, we are gonna see. Oh, Ground Zero is rotating towards double doors right now. This is a little bit. It's gonna be a little bit clunky. As Raffleco is going to take down Pears, and Huz is going to get dropped by motion, opting from double doors, and you're going to see VERTEX taking control of A long. They're going to be able to get Raffleco with the op actually down to 11 health. He's going to be able to try and look for an angle that he can peek in and possibly get a pick. However, Burn is going to go down to the headshot from Brace. Llama's going to take down Brace as a trade out, and Licky gets two.
Oh,
getting the collateral with taking down Motion and Falcon is going to suddenly, I almost want to say that it saved this round for Ground Zero. However,
can they get Raffleco? He's where position
Stranger,
now?
it's player with an op. You've seen these kinds of heroics before. I'm not going to say that it's out of the ballpark, but, it's certainly not favorable for Raffleco. However, their money's great. He could go for it conceivably, but the flank full of Malamo is going to take him down without too much of an issue.
That was a real turnaround by Leahy, as you said. Like, that whole initial long hold they had, where it was a crossfire by the doors, it all got dismantled by Burn accidentally team flashing one half of it. So when the first player at doors went down, there was no trade.
I think what also didn't help, you've been having Pears holding pretty aggressively at those double doors, and then you saw that rotate just come out kind of slow. There wasn't. It was well intentioned, but the timing was not great.
Yeah. But in this round, VERTEX, they want nothing to do with long, and actually just gonna opt to take that mid control, posture towards maybe getting onto Cat with that Xbox smoke, but actually looks like it's gonna burst straight through mid.
Yeah, which I think is a confident play to make. They've been doing well. They have some rounds up. They have pretty good economy. They can go for these plays to try and catch Ground Zero off guard. However, it looks like they're gonna back up. They're gonna be climbing up box into Catwalk and see what kind of picks that they can work from there. You have 4 players on Catwalk, and it's just Motion that's really rotating around behind. However, if there's a rotate coming out of these players A-long, you could see him possibly getting caught out because he's going to want to come long if he can help it.
Yeah, and I mean, just having control of that mid area denies a fair bit of information from the CTs, so you can see why they would want to take that. And it also leaves their options for the future, but it looks like it's going to be the Catwalk execute. Actually going to be the drop into CT for Brace. Dodges a shot from Burn, kind of matrixing there. Didn't dodge that one, tagged through the corner, but he's still going to win the fight. 2 for 1 into the site for Bance, and that is the bomb planted for them.
Yeah, Motion's still standing in T-spawn, trying to get the pick on these players rotating. We're not going to find it. And for the time being, it is going to be a 3v3 on site. You have Pears pushing up long, trying to see if he can find any players peeking. Not able to find anything, and it looks like, Ground Zero may be backing off for now.
Oh, he wasn't aware of Motion. That's so awkward.
Oh, that's...
Poor
it was such
Motion.
a slow... You saw Motion standing up there for so long. I can't really... I need to word this very carefully. Motion sat there for so long. He saw the players walk by. He didn't really know where Pears was, which, maybe he wanted to keep watching middle, but I think he should have maybe rotated a little sooner on that.
Oh, well, no, did you see what happened? He was in long doors. He was waiting for the box.
No.
Pears walked. Yeah, okay. So
Pears walked straight past him. I saw him standing in T-spawn for so long.
Okay. Yeah, it's unfortunate. You hate to see it. You hate to be in a situation either, but I mean, it's a little odd that he would be in that position because he wasn't even going to be in position to fight the bomb. It wasn't planned for long. It was planned for Cat.
Ground Zero now having a double off and see if they can find anything from that. However, Huds is going to go down quickly, and Pear's going to go Attic taking down both of them, and it is just the two ops and llamas with the A4. Suddenly a very unfavorable position for Ground Zero. I'm thinking maybe this, you bought two ops, maybe you don't need to push people into double doors so aggressively, but maybe they're confident that both Licky and Burn can get these, sort of equalize this round for Ground Zero. However, Vertex is rotated entirely, and while you do have, who is that? You have Falcon kind of hanging out over by the long area. You have 4 players posturing up to push into B, and that is going to be the pick on the llamas for motion, and it's going to be both op players left alive. They kind of need to figure out how they want to approach saving these rifles if they can help it. Licky peeking mid, going to be able to find the pick onto Falcon, taking an important rifle out of their hands. Falcon's money is not great. However, there's going to be a free second op for Vertex.
Yeah, and I mean, any op on a retake is not particularly good. You're just not mobile with the weapon. A double op retake into B is nigh on impossible with Mandisad. Motion's just trying to show off. I don't even know what he's doing, man.
Yeah.
But,
So back to money not being super great for Ground Zero, and this is going to be the 15th round of the half, so they do need to find something here if they can. I would say maybe this is where you want to kind of play a little aggressively long. You want to get those picks. You want to try and take those rifles out of Vertex's hands, and more importantly, put them into your own hands so you can try and DM the opposing team a little more comfortably.
yeah, I mean, they've got quite great weapon diversity here. The 2 sewing machines with the Masa Scout, a kitchen sink in there somewhere, and Raffalco, he's going to charge down one of those sewing machines in CT that was in the hands of HUDs, and the problem with these inferior guns, especially on Dust 2, is you just don't have the range. And yeah, with pairs going down, this is looking increasingly bleak for Ground Zero. Llamas did manage to find one in CT, but I don't see him finding much more. Yeah, Brace is going to absolutely execute him there. It's only Leaky fighting the longest range possible with an MP9, and it's not going to work out. Surprise.
Yeah. In terms of pulling their weight, I'm glad that for all the screaming and yelling that Raffalco is doing in the pregame, that he is actually top fragging for his team right now.
Yeah.
That's it's very fun to see someone back up all the shit.
Well, he's got to put the wind in his sails, right? Like he's firing up his boys, you know.
You got to get the boys fired up.
You do got to get your boys fired up, and I think that's especially the case for Ground Zero here. Like, you got to get in there. Like, we need like Bill Belichick to come in and give them a great, just motivational speech. Like, because what do? You got to brush this map off, right? Like, even if you're not talking about this map, even talking about this half, like, you got to bounce back. You got to just think, okay, what can we do? Let's take this round by round. Because, crazier deficits have been made up. It's not out of the realm of possibility. You just need to be in the mindset to do it.
Yeah, you look at it this way. Vertex took 13 rounds in the first half. It's obviously possible to take 13 rounds and a half.
Hey, why can't we do that?
Yeah. So Burn... Wait. Huh? Am I insane? Oh, that was... The game hasn't even started yet. We haven't got the green text. Thinking like, that doesn't seem right.
What, has he got an AK in the pistol? What's this guy doing? No, that's like when you could spam down mid with a Glock, and if you happen to get a lucky kill, you could buy a Mac 10 with the kill reward. That was fun when you could still do that. Because you can just run it into B and like use it on the armorless players. Or a helmetless, rather. But it looks like we are actually going to be just
green text
getting
about to go live.
Yeah, just getting all the little round resets, all the jitters out. And there is the green text. Raffalco says the pain train is coming.
I called this pistol! I called this pistol! I called it! Watch this!
Alright, we're watching this. I am intent to see... They're running up mid. Well, he said he calls those pistols, and well, it's very clear that he did. And but the first frag is gonna fall by Vertex. Falcon is... Oh my lord!
Goodness.
Nice 3k from him, and just like that, it's only pairs. He walked through long, he did an actual strat.
Okay? Are you okay? Right.
Yeah, you had 3 players pushing up mid for Vertex, and then Falcon and someone else. Yeah, go for him, man.
He's mid! Oh my lord, motion sucks, bro.
Oh, I'm disappointed. I was expecting something after that round.
Yeah, you know, I was gonna make some comment on Vertex's tactical prowess or whatever, but you know,
I don't think it was
Falcon got a
tactical
3K
prowess.
with the P2000. That just, you know, it'd be like that sometimes.
I think it was 5 players ran directly at T-spawn and killed enemy gamers.
Well, you had 2 players rotate tunnel, and they managed to catch Ground Zero as they were trying to push into B, which, you know, they probably weren't expecting.
Yeah, they did eventually do that, but that was the initial strategy.
Yeah, of
And
course.
we're gonna see a classic deco round, and to try and prevent match point here, or math point, sorry, not match point. And they will trade out on long, only for SMG though, so less than ideal as
Yeah,
the rotators come.
slightly better than placebo for Ground Zero. Still gonna need that deagle to try and cover this ground, but Hair's actually gonna get the pick on to brace, and that is gonna be a rifle taken out of Vertex's hands,
Pistols.
which is also going to open up.
Man.
That's gonna farm. Yes.
Oh my god, it's fucking nuts.
Yeah!
Oh my god, Falcon actually managed to clutch it on 2 HP.
Well,
and
you
Huds
see,
with a really clutch double kill at the end there too.
no, well, Hud's
it-
taking out his own teammate, maybe closing out that round for Vertex. Not really what you want to see there. But you know, fantastic mechanics by him, able to show that he can hit the deagle
He
shots
can shoot.
onto anyone. Huds does not discriminate.
Yeah. I mean, he just wants to shoot people, you know. He's sent his DM in.
Desert Eagle rated E for everyone.
This is true. But, yeah, I don't know, we got a scout. It is 15-2, right? So we gotta find something. And oh my lord, Huds, he's blasting heads. Okay. We had players,
Bro.
his players going up mid.
Dude,
And,
just booked me. That was
I don't know,
insane.
there's a CT about to come in behind on this long flank, but before then, the site is going to be taken. Never mind, there's Raffleco. He gets 1. He gets not 2.
I killed him
Kind of
myself.
chokes it onto burn. And, oh, that's so awkward for Llamas, but he did manage to eventually clean up the taps and, well, prevent them from losing just 2.
Yeah, and more importantly, they're going to. Well, it's not more importantly, but they are going to
It is
shred.
importantly.
Yeah, but not losing is the most important thing. But also importantly, Vertex's eco is going to be absolutely shredded here in this 19th round.
Yeah,
They're gonna be running the
hyperinflation hit.
Deagle armor round. And you're going to see everybody on Vertex kind of playing around this long area, save for Falcon, who's going to be playing by tunnels. Going to get dinked down a little bit, but Ground Zero is going to immediately back out towards A.
Yeah, good early damage from both nades and a little dink, as you said.
Yeah, Brace playing around middle. He might be able to find someone on the rotate here, but it looks like he's more of watching the long side.
Yeah. I mean, he's just making sure they can't walk through middle for free, really.
Yeah,
And,
which is fine. That's an important job. And,
And,
it looks like there's a player that is playing around catwalk right
Yeah,
now.
they're-
That's how it be.
Yeah, and Huds also was with the team they were trying to take long, and they did clean up Raffle. And then in all these frags, it's only 1 falling on Ground Zero. It was Burn. Getting an
That's
unfortunate
gonna keep
50 cal to the head.
Mr. Liability at long here.
But we've got-
Support me, I'll be fine.
We do have Falcon.
That's right, let's just play standard.
Yeah, just kind of Falcon figuring out what he wants
What's
to
next
do.
one? Fenno?
In Fenro.
Yes.
You know, seeing if maybe you can make out like a thief and
Patrick,
grab a
give it
gun
to
on
you.
his way out,
I
but
think
there's
that's
not
pretty
really going to be
I mean, we just save
anything
it
to be
and just make
found.
sure it
He's just
doesn't
looking
spiral.
around
The
and
dust
trying to
is
get some
fucking
sort of
shit
exit
out.
frags on this. But he's going to be taken down by Llamas, and then it's going to close out the round for Ground Zero.
These comps, man, they just break me. You know, this is everything I've dreamed of and more. Yeah. They're basically casting from the inside. But, no, that's our job. We won't be replaced so easily. And, well, if you thought last round was great, now it's only USPs. And they've also fluffed their mid-smoke. So, that's a sign of only good things to come. I'm sure. Burn actually dies. How are they getting kills this? They've taken off the silencer, and they got 2 kills. They got more kills than they did with Deagles.
Well, you know, considering the round advantage that Vertex has on the second half, they can really take as much time as they need to try and fix their eco, you know, get as comfortable as they want. As, you know, they're even all going to be saving 3k here, so they can get 100%, you know, eco comfort going into the next round.
Yeah, they're just looking for that closer. They want the perfect round.
Yeah,
And,
they do kind of have that availability to them. You know, they don't want to let it go on too much longer.
I wonder
Because-
if Ground Zero thinks this is a buy. I don't know how they're playing
That's
this,
that's a good question. They probably have a pretty good
Well,
idea of what's going on.
yeah,
with
I'm sure
their
they're aware
eco,
now
but-
because like people have fired, but it is always curious to think like when you're trying to read the opponents if they're going to do that. We again have the CT that's managed to push all the way through mid behind to long, although this time he's only got a deagle, so gonna be a little harder. And yeah, Burn is watching it like a hawk. Not Brace, not today.
No, and this is looking like it's probably going to be another round going to ground zero, which is good for them. They want to try and find rounds where they can, but
It's also
You know.
wholly expected given the buy.
yeah, Vertex managed to find one rifle. You know, picking up an AK is Addict. He's going to be hanging around over by the T spawn. You know, obviously wanting to hold on to this. We've been seeing players having a little trouble holding on to their AK saves, but with this spot that Addict has, I'm a little more comfortable that he'll be able to keep it.
Plus, if he ever gets bored, he can just play some footy as well. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there you go. I like this spot from Ruffleco. They know he's
Where-
there.
Yeah, nah, he was not long for this world, unfortunately. Almost found HUDs. Almost.
However, as far as the save goes, you could say that this one was pretty successful.
Like, getting an AK out of that when you didn't plan to take out anything is always going to be an upgrade, especially on the CT side where, you know, those one-taps can be very nice holding angles.
Yeah, and now, going into this round, we're going to have full rifles from Vertex, full rifles, full utility, and they're just looking to close it out here.
Well, you'd think so, but, I mean, hey, it's all up to ground zero now to stop them from doing that. And, yeah, we're just gonna see, typical nades traded at long, had an opper trying to get a peek, maybe through that smoke, find something or anything, but...
Yeah, what is Falcon doing? He's crouch walking through the smoke.
Ooh. This is maybe the brain play. He did manage to get through in a gap where... Well, he hasn't gotten through yet. The smoke's just oh, that's so unfortunate. He went to check around the corner of the box the second HUDs peeked him. Maybe HUDs just had the hard read on that. I don't know.
You know what? Timing is important in CS.
Yeah. It's important in life, you know.
Yeah, but even with all those pistol saves, Ground Zero still looking a little better here.
Yeah.
Granted, Motion and Brace both have ops. It's not unthinkable that they could pull some magic here. But for what it's, Ground Zero wants to push B, and they're pretty well suited to it.
Oh,
Brace is about
managed
to get
find
caught
one
out
on the
here on
cross
mid.
because they whiffed the smoke. But the problem with ops in this sort of a situation is like if they're not on the site, then they're kind of useless in the retake, and especially on B. And I think that was a read from Ground Zero to say like, hey, if these guys are gonna have double ops, we're gonna play B, the hardest site in CS:GO to retake.
However, Brace managed to take down 2 in the push, and Llamas and Licky are both like 50 health or less. This is
He's-
certainly doable.
Oh, it comes down
Motion
all to
here.
the 1v1, but Licky's gonna win that. That was really nice play to just molly door and push him right into his teammate. And only match trade 1 for 1, which isn't gonna leave their economy in a super great place, or at least it's not as strong as they would like. But that doesn't really matter because if they lose one round, they're done anyway.
Yeah, they kind of have the
Actually, yeah.
luxury of saying like, you know,
We don't really care.
yeah, what's the worst that could happen?
Alright, guys, save this round, yeah. And it is a save. Burn, he peeked long fast with the spawn, managed to find Ralphico, but traded instantly by Motion. Nice little deagle. But, yeah, Pears is just finding the rest of those frags out in B. He's gonna just clean out the site, and he wants more. Gonna push CT with that. But actually gonna lose his life for it. He got a little too greedy. Got a little too, he wanted to pad his ADR.
Yeah, worth noting, Motion managed to grab this op over on A long, managed to just take it out of the hands of Burn after he went down. So we're gonna see how they want to try and retake this, but there is a player pushing through mid. He's gonna be spamming a Motion, but suddenly only Attic can really worry about what's going on B because there's this player pushing through mid.
Ooh, Llamas could get caught out here. Not that it really matters, because both the advanced players already have rifles, and again, economic damage isn't really a factor for the T side at this point. And he actually managed to get the peek at the same time,
Oh,
guys.
so easy for him.
Peek to trade, like you peek and the other guy's just facing the other way. And Addict gets a third. That's 4 in the round. Okay, everyone on ground zero dies. Though they still win the round, so that's what counts.
Yeah, they do win the round. Gonna be able to keep this eco going, and VERTEX going to be pulling up another rifle round. Going to have 2 ops here.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw the double lock. It didn't really work out for them last time. Only one really came into effect. But I mean, hey, the only person who's come into effect here apparently is Addict. They'll find pairs again. I think that was on the log. And yeah, there's that early pick could just be the difference. We haven't seen that in a lot of the rounds that Ground Zero have been winning.
Yeah, we do have Falcon with the AUG here, trying to hold B. Brace's going to find an early pick onto HUDs.
And another. Wow. Playing that window like a master. But he is going to left his teammate out to dry here. He's in the corner with the hog. Trading 1 for 1 there is not bad, all things considered, because it's only burn in the site. And, you know, there's so much utility. They can take their time, flush out the corners, cross their eyes, dot their T's, all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Burn going to be kind of forced out by the Molotov that he threw. And Ralphalco is going to run, and he's going to find the pick onto Burns. They're going to get the defuse, and that is going to be the first map going to VERTEX.
Yeah. A little closer in the end, probably, than they would have liked, given the score at half, but a map all things considered. So, yeah, that is going to be, as you said, a 1-0 lead for the VERTEX boys. And we are going to be throwing it to a quick break between maps. Stick with us, everyone.
Everybody loves an underdog. Who needs to be liked?
Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Everybody loves an underdog. Who needs to be liked?
Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Welcome back, everyone. We are heading into the second map of this series. It's all on the line here. Ground Zero need to win it and take it to a third map, or they are done in this playoffs. Vance are going to want to win it to extend their run in the lower bracket. It is Inferno that they're going to have to do it on. Ground Zero starting on the CT side. Take it away, Bill.
Alright, well, going into this first pistol round from Vertex, pushing in quickly. Ralphico is going to find an early pick onto HUD, and that is going to posture the entirety of Vertex outside of A, trying to figure out exactly which way they want to go. But we do have players looking over... Hold on, I'm losing myself on the map. Okay, they're pushing towards apartments now.
Yeah. They're all trying to get into apps. As many people are now, there is a bit of a housing crisis.
Yeah, they certainly are. Everybody up on this balcony looking to push out aggressively. It is Falcon with the flashes, and he is now throwing them out onto site. Players flooding into the site, but where are the CTs? Players in pit. Pear's going to find one early.
Oh, Pear's
Players backing up, playing around this geometry, and it is Pear's going to be traded out by Brace. Licky going to punish Motion for his poor positioning, and Attic going to get taken down. Or Attic taking down Licky, Falcon taking down Burn. And that is going to be a plant for Vertex.
How is it the whole time that was happening? Burn was just in the site.
Oh, unlucky, Jabby. Unlucky, bro.
You know, such a fucking waste.
Very insightful, Ralphico.
Llama's not able to find those shots onto Vertex. Vertex going to take the first pistol round of Inferno.
What song do you think he was singing there?
I do not have voice enabled. I'm sorry.
Oh, you can. You can't hear him.
I can't focus on that, man.
Yeah.
It's so hard to listen.
Yeah, indeed. But I mean, hey, not what matters. Vance did win the pistol round, and well, they got 2 MAC-10s. They're looking to just run on into this second round, but it is the force buy for Ground Zero, so they're going a bit all or nothing here.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to hard commit to Inferno. Sorry for cutting you off, Hire.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say, I don't know how much I like the force spy on Inferno CT side, because this is a map where nades are so important for holding areas like Banana, that, like, do you really want to risk going to the first gun round with, like, missing nades? But I don't know, it is a map where you can make those decisions work, so we'll have to see what they do with it.
Yeah, I think I just said hard commit to Inferno when I meant to say Banana.
Well, they're doing that too. They're on.
Yeah, they're certainly committing to it. Flashes are coming out into sight. However, it looks like Vertex is going to be backing off, maybe deciding that they would like to push towards B instead, or towards A instead. Excuse me. However, nobody's really rotated from A.
Well, Burn was all on his own there on B, and probably made it look like he had a lot more presence than they did with his nades. So they really bought the fake, and HUDs will get traded out in mid, but I don't think they're aware of how many players are here. But with all those deagle shots to smoke, they've got to realize now that B is not as occupied as they thought it was.
Yeah, as they rotate back towards Banana, however, we do have Llamas getting in position to try and punish this push when they come in. They may not have expected him to be rotated as quickly as he has, because we do still have 2 players over on A, that being Pears and being Llamas. However, they're now rotating, really coming up from behind a Banana as the entirety of Vertex is now pushing onto B site. They're able to find Llamas, and now they're looking for Burn, who is playing this geometry pretty well, hiding over in construction. He's going to find a pick onto Falcon. Pears is going to find a pick onto Raffelco, and that is going to put GZ in a commanding position in the second round.
Pears! Oh my god. Pears was so much faster than they could have ever anticipated on his Banana flank, like, and no one just looked at him. And he managed to get 3 with an MP9. So, clutching out the round for his team, absolutely, but also getting a ton of money from all those SMG kills. That's 1,800 in the bank. I would appreciate that myself.
Yeah, that's going to really open up possibilities for Ground Zero going into this next round. Going to maybe give them a rifle option that they might not have had before. However, not only that, they also did manage to save 2 AKs from the Vertex, who tried to make a normal push that last round. So suddenly their eco is going to be really good going into this third round.
Yeah, it's just going to be the classical, like, shuffle around on Vertex. 2
you see
AKs.
Guns flying in every which direction.
2 AKs and 3 deagles. Yeah, this isn't some other game. We have to do it the old-fashioned way where you actually throw them.
Burn kind of messed up his molly there.
Yeah, it did mess it up, but it's no harm no foul because he wasn't actually in that position.
Yeah, not the end of the world.
And yeah, just this Deagle tried to remove his head from the plane of existence.
Yeah, great shot. Great shot from Falcon, gonna take down Burn. And we do once again see players from Vertex. Brace taking down pairs as well. Deagles are really putting in some work for these players right now. However,
it's just these players, they're all alone. Like, that player was pushing in abs alone. There could have been how many T's on the other side? He's lucky it was only one, and he still lost. And Hudson would lose his life in sight. It's only Licky in pit, trying to fight around the smoke. It's real awkward, no one can see, but motion will kill him eventually. And just like that, Ben's gonna trade back another round.
yeah, not really, hasn't been a whole lot happening to try and get a judge for how things are going right now, but these apartment plays are really serving Vertex well. Yeah. As Ground Zero are going to be back on an eco round, trying to do what they can, maybe get an early gun.
This is the classic, so it's just the 2 flashes on Burn. He's going to flash his team over, and they're going to rush, it looks like, Banana. So they're just going to try to take their USPs, rush in, get a kill or 2 if they're lucky, and just see where it goes from there. It's the freeform strat, but well, if they flash a Banana right now, they're not going to find a whole lot, because no one's there.
Yeah, the entirety of Vertex pushing onto A site, kind of, you could say Vertex gave them the old reach around as they managed to miss the entirety of the counter-terrorist team.
Yeah, they, if anything, that flash they threw only really made them turn around. But it doesn't matter if they turn around, because Licky's removed Brace's head. So, I mean, it's a rifle. They're just still probably gonna all die, but I mean, that's more damage than you would like them to find, really. Like, 1 is like the maximum acceptable loss to that round for Vance.
Yeah, and worth noting, Rafaco is from 4 kills in apartments, is now going to go down to Burn. However, Burn is likely not to go down here to...
Wait, what do you reckon my money's like now? Okay, fully hit this.
What is it?
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on here, but yeah, Burn finally got cleaned up. I mean, I'm sure Rafaco will be really bad for his stat line cleaning it up with that nice Eco 4K. It's like you just are like getting kills, just pad your stat line completely, but I don't know. We're gonna see a buy come out for round 0, and this is what I mentioned earlier. Their buy is real scuffed, despite taking that full save. They've got basically no utility. Some vital grenades for like holding Banana are completely missing, and even then, they still have a FAMAS on the board.
Yeah, and they don't have helmets either, with the exception of Licky.
Ooh, and they do have a Mac 10, so that is actually a big deal, potentially. Because normally it's not a big deal because you have these AKs, it doesn't matter. And while I say that, Paris is going to take his FAMAS and put it to good use finding Attic. Finally, the apps play being shut down. And Burn! Just getting the spray down on these Arch players. I don't know what their plan was. They used no utility to try and get in that position.
Yeah, Rafaco able to find Llamas there who's playing on-site, and you're going to see players from Vertex rotating over to be there, at minimum going to get the bomb plane down. However, Brace is going to find 1 in Banana. He's going to get traded out by Licky, and it's just Rafaco trying to defend the site, but Rafaco has been playing very well this first map. And in the second map, he's going to look for a possibility to clutch this up for his team, but he's going to need to be on point. He's going to need to be perfect if he wants to make this round happen.
They nearly lined up. That would have been so amazing, but it wasn't for Rafaco. And it went as you would expect, right? But that can get so nerve-wracking when you're both approaching the same angle, you peek, and just all die. But they're really lucky that he ate that nade, or else it could have gone way differently. But that's only hypotheticals.
It is all hypotheticals, because what happened, happened, and we can only judge the game based off of that ire.
That is very much true.
Getting real tired of your pessimism.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a little positive here, because you know what, Ground Zero, they can win this map. I mean, they obviously have it all to play for here, so...
It's certainly not looking as one-sided as the first map did.
Oh, the nade stack! And the bit of spam is going to find Burn super early on. And Lava's tried to peek the same smoke. Okay, then. I'm pessimistic again. I'm no longer optimistic.
I think anything is possible, and...
Oh, Licky. Maybe he agrees with you. No one has seen someone they killed this whole round.
And for what it's worth, the health on Vertex is not great right now either. Some of the spam through the smoke could very well find someone if they manage to catch the wrong bullet in the wrong spot.
Yeah, but in CS, it's like, does health really matter all that much? In some cases, it's really doesn't.
When you're spamming through smoke, I think it does.
Yeah, but they're not really in the position. They're all hiding behind like boxes and stuff. And that was actually really abysmal CT smoke as well. There was a massive gap in that. But I think the players on GZ are just gonna elect to save when they really just didn't have any presence into the retake, and I can't blame them for that.
Yeah, I don't think that's the worst decision. They did manage to get an AK out of it. They had an AK out of it, and just holding on to that and going into this sixth round, would probably be for the best.
Yeah, because really it just gives them another crack at that round with guns.
Seventh round, excuse me.
Yeah. But, it's basically just take two, but let's try not to lose two people as soon as the round starts.
Yeah. I don't claim to be some sort of CSGO super genius, but...
Well, I do. And,
I dare I say that the way that you explain this idea for the upcoming round seems pretty solid.
Yeah, they got these two nades, or two MP9s here. Oh, the nade stack going both ways, but it really will favor GZ this time. And the follow-up down mid will find Falcon, so they're making this extra utility they got with these SMGs just really sing. And that's what I was talking about in previous rounds. When you don't have those nades to play with on Inferno, it can really limit your possibilities for these holds.
Yeah, and Bant's getting ready to restack Banana, getting ready for the push in here. Licky has found a really cheeky spot in apartments. However, he's going to be surprised to find out from both him and HUDs that there's not really players coming to fight them. You have the entirety of Vertex pushing onto B site now, trying to get into the site. However, with these smokes coming out, with these nades coming out, Llamas and Burn, just Llamas now are very well suited to try and hold this. Llamas finding one, Burn getting traded out with Addict. Raffleco pushing in aggressively, going to find Llama. He's going to find Pears as well, and suddenly it's just HUDs and Leaky rotating back from the A site, looking to try and crack open this B site. However, the Terrorists are going to get the bomb down on B any second now.
Eventually. Well, they can't. The problem is that CT is open right now, so they can just be fired upon if they try to plant. But it's not a big deal because they do have time to wait. But I mean, I was saying Pears needed to get that trade through the smoke there because
they have time to wait, and Ground Zero has a little bit of utility that they can work with as well. However, Vertex really has none, so they kind of need to wait for another 20 seconds is all they have, but they need to wait for Ground Zero to try and make something happen.
He has a nade, which could be really important if it comes down to Raffleco in particular. He can die to that. And they've actually just all gone for the rotate off. They thought it was A. They saw so little movement on B, just these players right in the corners, they were convinced they rotated off. That's actually really big, because they had a lot of forward position in CT that they did lose.
Yeah, maybe dropping the ball a little bit.
They're both in church, so basically their gambit here is like, they won't expect both of us to be here. But now that they've actually killed a different person, they have to know. It's all going to come down to this 1v1. It's the coach, a manager, HUDs versus Raffleco, and Raffleco does win it. Raffle was saying in the voice chat prior that he felt like HUDs maybe had his number a bit on Dust too, but this time he's calling back.
Yeah, HUDs was doing pretty well on that first map, but another player who's doing pretty well was Raffleco, and he's able to find the last kill of that round. Already 12 kills in this half, and that's a pretty solid stat line, I'd say.
We'll ignore that like 5 of those were on unarmored players with USPs, but like, you know, it still count.
Yeah, they all count the same in the kill column.
Yeah, we can't break that down yet, Valve. That would be a cool feature to add, by the way.
How many kills were just on eco saves?
It's so you can just discredit that one guy on your team who's just like, well, look at my 30 bomb, and you just show that he got like 20 eco frags.
So we're gonna have Vertex playing, over towards A. They're just throwing out utility for the time being. It's hard to discern exactly where they intend to push, but it looks like they're leaning towards apartments as a possible location to try and make this push happen. You do have 2 players currently holding A. You have Leaky and you have Pears. Really just with the pistols, trying to see if they can find any cheeky early picks. And Pears, I think, is in a decent situation to maybe get a quick pick if players push out of apartments. However, everybody just on ult mid right now, trying to figure out exactly which way they want to go.
Yeah, and this is just classic little like play on A. They're saying basically, if you come lane, we're gonna put like a mega crossfire on you and try to get some kills out of it. Well, Leaky will get at least one, which is given that again, no persist, no armor, he's probably going hell for it, and he's actually getting even more than that found to with the AK he salvaged. Just like that, it's a 2v1. Granted, Brace has the much better equipment, has armor crucially, but he's just dodging and diving with Leaky on the site. Actually ran out of AK ammo, I'm pretty sure. Was fighting with the USP. but he hasn't caught them. I think that Llamas is still on site, and he has vision of the bomb. This is so much intense 1v1. It comes down to they're just dancing around each other. They haven't spotted it. And oh, Llamas! He wasn't aware that he could have been around the crate. And that is going to be Brace winning a crucial 1v1.
Yeah, crucial 1v1 that's going to put VERTEX at 6 rounds. Looks like regular buys are going to come out for both teams. No ops coming out for VERTEX. However, Pears is going to be picking it up for Ground Zero. And I believe we've been seeing him hold A, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him peek mid, see if he can get an early pick before backing off. Molotov comes out down mid, and what does Pears find?
Well, right now it's a whole lot of nothing, and a fast banana take coming straight the way of Burn and Spawn. And, but they're not gonna actually try to turn the corner on it. Just these two players now isolated in front of the barrels by that Molotov. And, could potentially eat some heavy nade spam, but they aren't gonna capitalize on that. I don't think, well, there was only one nade on B, so that makes sense. And, yeah, I mean, this is just classic Inferno where it just starts at 100 miles an hour and then just pumps the brakes.
Yeah, absolutely. Utility coming out from Ground Zero. Just going to stall for now. VERTEX looking for the perfect opportunity that they have to push in. Still a minute left on the clock. Who is this player rotating around on mid? That is Addict. See if he can find anything cheeky. See if he can maybe draw players out. But the push from Banana is going to be coming out from VERTEX. They're going to find Burn, trade out for Break. Huz is going to go down from Addict. And Llama is going to pick up both Motion and Falcon to put a hard stop to that push. It is just going to be Raffleco left on site. Is he going to be able to find these frags as the rotate comes out from these players?
And Addict as well. He's on the rotate, but he's only 2 HP. He can sneeze in his general direction, and just like the real world, he will die. But that being said, actually the Opera is trying to peek me. He's not aware he's in this corner very clearly. Thinks he's in the connection. And just like he gets about to drop on him. He will get traded by Leaky, but I don't know. It is all the 2 HP player now, aware of his position. Leaky will find him. And that's a third round to Ground Zero. Maybe this is the start of where they can actually start to build their CT side.
Yeah, the eco is going to be a little, good, not great for VERTEX, whereas I would imagine that Ground Zero is going to be a little more comfortable going into this round.
No, actually, they're going to have a worse spot because that's how the economy works now. And you see, like, most of those players had like 3,600 if they didn't live in the last round, so they'll still get a pretty good buy of it by shuffling their weapons around, but even then, they still have to have one man on an MP9, so you see that, like, they still have to make that sacrifice despite winning the round.
True, whereas we are going to have Motion on the Fool's Op, known as the Desert Eagle, trying to see if he can find any cheeky picks, maybe steal himself a rifle. However, we have Pears on the real op, watching mid, but for the time being, it's just VERTEX posturing to push in Banana. Falcon going to find an early pick onto Burn, which is going to potentially open this mid, or open this B side up for Ground Zero. Pears going to be taken down with the 1 from Motion. Great shot, and more importantly, it's going to get him this op if he can manage to get over there. The entirety of VERTEX is now rotating over to A because the op is down. And it's really just going to be Licky trying to hold them off for the time being. Rotate coming out from HUDs, but Llama's 15 health holding B side all by his lonesome.
Yeah, Licky, that anchor just holding in lower pit right now. I don't know why they were challenging that aggressively on Banana. That didn't feel like there was really a reason to. Like, they had all the utility. They could have just contested it and followed off, if anything, and they ended up just bleeding 2 to it. But regardless, it's going to be the lane push now coming out for Bant. Only that one man had hit Leaky to really contest that. I said actually HUD just charges through a smoke, manages to get 2. He does have the charge through smoke weapon, but that's going to be a save from Llamas. It has to be. Yeah, he's not even leaving his spot.
Yeah, it is going to be a save from Llamas.
Staring
However,
into what could potentially be his coffin.
VERTEX really could try and hunt for him here if they really wanted to, because he's not going to be defusing this bomb anytime soon. And they have this luxury of being able to find him if they so please. He has only 15 health. They probably know that he's at least hurt, and they have an AK, which ideally they do not want him to go into the next round with.
Yeah, but the eco for Vance is not too great either. I think they're just going to like to keep their 3 players up, pending that Llamas didn't just like walk into them.
Very true, Ire.
So, I don't know, probably going to be fairly uneventful. And actually say that now, we do have one player that is Rafflecopter. Or I keep on saying Rafflecopter, it's just Raffleco. Peeking into it CT, but I don't think they're gonna have yeah, they're not gonna meet each other. They're just gonna sit back to back so we can stare at them with the X-ray.
Wait a minute, did you get your X-ray turned on?
I did. It is the X key.
Oh my god.
I had the next level information.
Learning something new every day
That's
as I
true.
develop my CSGO casting portfolio.
That's what we're all here for. It's learning and just having fun, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
or something.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I see how it is.
Alright. VERTEX pushing banana, utility coming out, all of them with AK to save at it, got the Galil. And players coming on site, what picks are they going to find?
It's basically the T-side M4 at this point, honestly.
It's only Burn on site. Pears manages to, or Attic manages to find Pears. Burn just kind of hanging out. Oh, he's not going to see this. Ropico finds Burn, and Motion finds HUDs. So this is going to be another quick round for VERTEX by the looks of it.
Addict just taking a long-range fight against an AK with a USP and Altman actually winning it. And Lam's gonna find one with his salvaged AK, so now 2 rifles being brought over. That's something at the very least for GC.
Yeah, and Llamas is also going to find Motion, which, you know, suddenly if they get another pick, this maybe becomes something doable, but they're... Yeah, we're way past that. Llamas has the defuse kit, and he's all the way on A site, excuse me.
Yeah. And, I mean, the play for that round is basically, like, push that AK into apps, you either just die or find a spray down, or you save. And then, well, they chose option C. And, I mean, hey, they managed to get the Galil out of it on Leaky, so he'll be able to buy a ton of grenades, unlike HUDs, who's apparently the operator. We've seen, like, every person pick up this op, I swear. But it's gonna be Burn as well, the double op on GC. Maybe this is the change they need.
Yeah, we're going to have HUDs mixing it up with the op pick, figure out where he wants to hold. They just have him watching mid, not really postured up to shoot at anybody unless they push all the way up. But we do have, it looks like VERTEX is going to be pushing in through apartments here, which actually Ground Zero seems pretty well equipped to try and deal with, unless a bunch of flashes come out and, what, you know what? I think it's good to be confident, but this is maybe... Oh my god, Pears, I'm wrong. I'm so sorry, Pears, for doubting you. That was a Gigabrain 9000 IQ, bombed down, smoked off apartments. He's gonna climb back up here. Oh my god, that was great.
Yeah, on that little railing is a classic off angle, because it's just so awkward to peek, because you have to expose yourself to the whole site to do it.
Quote-unquote off angle. Literally standing in the doorway.
Oh, I actually didn't catch that. I thought he was standing on the little railing.
No. He was standing, like, no, not in the doorway, but, like, you know, he was not hidden.
Well, I'll tell you what's
Here at
actually
the
happening
camp,
right
we're
now.
a bit nervous
It's nothing
now.
much.
Game's getting a bit close. Will we prevail? I'm not sure.
That's unfortunate. I mean, is this a tac pause or a technical pause? I can't tell.
I have no idea.
But we heard Rofko there saying they're feeling a bit nervous, you know, maybe getting a little jittery. Maybe
Probably
HUD's
just his
offing.
mouse is broken. Ah!
Someone's mouse is broken. That's unfortunate.
Alright.
So,
Well...
yeah.
Okay. Well, going into this round,
Well, it is tech pause by bands, but I preferred the way Rofko phrased it, which is mouse broke.
so going into this round, VERTEX has pretty bad money. They're not going to be able to buy much here, whereas Ground Zero really set themselves up to maybe be able to take the next couple rounds comfortably. If they play smart, they play to their advantages. You know, they still have both ops up. It should be fine for them.
Yeah, and finding those like first series of rounds with the double op is really important, because if that is like your ideal, it's really hard to maintain if you're trading rounds because it's just so damn expensive. But I mean, hey, if you're keeping it up, that it can work. And I'm kind of surprised to see HUDs on it. But then again, I guess Inferno is a map where you can just sort of hold an angle and fall back. You don't need to go for anything super flashy. And like I think we saw in the last round, he didn't even like peek mid. And
Yeah.
you don't really need to.
He was almost holding like an arch, so...
Yeah, like it's you can just hold passive angles, take a pot shot, and leave. And Well, if you manage to do that, to get an occasional kill or two, you're doing your job, really. But yeah, like this, they're gonna be going up against a pretty light buy by the looks of things. At least the buys haven't all come in yet because of the pause, but looking like full armor for the side of Bance. But we're not really sure what's exactly going on because we are on a fair amount of delay. But I mean, the game is on pause, so we're assuming whoever's mouse is broken is unbroken.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna be okay now. And
He whipped
we
out the
see
controller. It's fine.
fast push through apartments coming out of Vertex. You have all 5 players committed to this A-bomb site. Huds is gonna find motion with the early grenade. Brothel goes gonna do that. Like he's gonna get traded out. And this is, you know, well executed by Ground Zero, actually.
The Tech 9, you don't see those too often anymore. Finds llamas in the library. Maybe he should have read a different book. And, okay, Addict. The bomb just pushes CT.
What the frick?
So, okay, I mean,
How
it
has that
works.
happened?
It works out, so.
Brace 1v2.
Yeah, Attic gonna get taken down
Get
by
ready,
Burn,
guys,
and it's
this is
just
insane.
Brace.
Dodges the flash. 1 versus 2. He's tagged Burn up. This is intense. Pears and Burn versus Toby Brace Barnes. Brace for the aces coming up. Oh my god, can you believe it? I've got my co-caster Addict here with me. Addict, what do you think about this? Yes, good input. Oh my god, he's jiggled off the line. He's called a double nana. This is insane. What a read from Toby Brace Barnes and Falcon de Sosa. Falcon, what are your thoughts on this? Yes, good input. Here we go. Can you believe it? This is happening. I can't believe it. Toby Brace Barnes, Bance first Ground Zero, 1 versus 2. This is insane. He's already picked one up. This is with no pistols. Only pistols, no Kevlar. He's got no Kevlar. He's looking to push and make the play. Oh no, wait. He's playing conserve. He's going for those headshot lines. Toby Brace Barnes, headshot machine here. Oh my god. He's going to get him. They're not going to expect this at all. This is going to be amazing. Can you believe it? 100 HP against 2. One's already tagged up. This is very winnable. He spots out the guy in library. This is insane. Oh my god, it's happening. 1 diggity, 1 library. They have no idea. It's happening. They're on the bomb. He has no idea. He picks up one. He gets it again.
Alright, I think, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna play the game, and he's gonna cast.
That would be a train wreck hire.
Isn't?
Wish I could have heard any of that, but
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting you have your voice turned up.
yeah, I should
you
make a
missed something
bind for that or
glorious.
something. Well, you know what? I can go back and watch the VOD later, but gonna go into this 14th round. A little bit of a clunky buy for Ground Zero, but I am confident they can make it work. Great Molotov,
But
I
it
was
got
gonna
smoked
say,
off, and
yeah.
Linky's just gonna run on through.
Smoke literally. I hit my
Yeah,
mouse.
He's gonna find
my
himself
mouse
2
went
kills.
to move
Burnet's
it,
gonna
and
pick
the
up a
smoke
third.
pulled out, like, we
Great
actually
trade for
stopped
1
taking
player,
one
and you just have these 2
double
players hanging out in
double
banana now.
nades.
Probably would have won that round if my mouse didn't spaz out.
I remember doing a Dapo, right? Because we would, I guess we started going A because we got double code.
Yeah, Toby, that was actually fucking sick clutch. Holy
Thank you.
Ah.
I thought he'd just group up CT instead of
No
Nana.
one. Hey, can they be? Are you counterable? Can they counter you?
No, it's just impossible, man.
Can they counter you?
No.
Amen.
I was gonna go
Red
big.
Bull now.
I was gonna go big pit, and then I was like, hang on, this is such an easy fucking plant to spam a fucking mini.
Nah, exactly. That was sick. I'm the Red Bull's kicking in now.
No,
Bro, like,
that flash. His secret should just get full blind.
he doesn't give a fuck, bro. Decent. Okay. Yup.
Alright.
Would be
Brothel
spectacular.
doing
Oh,
his
he goes
thing
down.
in chat.
But
And
it's a quirky and uncharacteristic.
pretty clean round closeout for Ground Zero. And as we go into this 15th round of the half and the final round of the half, Ground Zero looking to see if they can take a 6th round, which certainly be a boon for them going into their T side.
Pause.
Again with the pauses.
I don't know, did someone's mouse break again? That's what happened last time. This is apparently a
Okay.
tack pause for Bance. So, unfortunately, we cannot hear what they are discussing.
Yeah.
Well, hello to potentially any Bance players. I don't know if I've been told you might be here. And shout out to Ruffleco for casting. You wanna tag in?
You can be in mumble here while he plays.
I'm sure that won't be awkward. But yeah, I mean, the pause is done, and we're just seeing players zoom around as they do. It's a bit of a hodgepodge buy here for the T's. Got P50s, Deagles, Galeals galore. And, well, they're just going to take all of that and run it straight down Banana. But they're not going to round the corner. They don't want to get too crazy here.
No, that would be insane. You have a nice boost coming out of HUDs, taking the roof outside of apartments. But the players of Vertex are still over on Banana, and they're pushing in now, going to be finding themselves going into site B site. And Llama's going to find himself a kill early. Burn is going to find himself one as well. Going to trade one life for two. Llama's going to find a second kill.
Llama is still up and fragging.
Motion trying to get the knife on him, however, Llama's going to take him down. Bray's going to find Llama as well as Perez, who's rotating over, and now it's going to be a 1 versus 2.
This would be something special to put Bans on 10 for the half. This would be spectacular. 5-10 would be the winning formula. This would be unreal. He's picked up 2. He's looking like he's going for 2 more. This would be amazing. Hudson and Licky, the 2 stars for GZ. Oh!
Well, unfortunately, we did not see what would have been the 1v4 for them, but that is going to be them still figuring out, or finishing out, not figuring out, the half, with a 9-6 ad going into the CT side for Bans. You're really missing out if you can't hear this, because it probably makes no sense to you.
Okay. Nah, I'm sure it's very funny. You know, Australian CS players, in my experience, are absolutely hilarious, but...
Especially when they try to submit erotic art on their stickers to Valve.
Did that happen?
Yeah. You ever heard a player called Dick Stacy?
I don't know if I have.
Alright, well, I will leave it at that.
Not allowed to tell that story, I suppose. We are going to be going into the fifth round.
All the
is
details
this green
are there.
text?
This is green text. And, I mean, all the details are there if you want to just connect the dots for yourself.
Okay, I certainly will, Iron. Thank you for being our resident expert on erotic art.
I thought that was you. But, I mean, either way, the only expert that Pants are here on just running down mid. They're doing it again, but on a different map.
Yes. Ground Zero, you know, losing one player, they're losing a second player on B site. Losing HUDs as well. Falcon kind of pulling his weight here.
This is exactly what happened on Dust 2, where Falcon just comes in and gets some clutch frags after
That's
they run
true.
down mid.
He did find 3 kills in tunnels. I forgot about that. However, Licky's going to take down Falcon, and he's not going to be able to find anybody else as Vertex just sort of rushes him. Vertex looking to not make this game last a lot longer.
Yeah, he wants you to get a good night's sleep, Bill.
Yeah, I know I'm not allowed to be biased, but it is 4:50 a.m. for me, and I'd sure like to get some rest.
But what if I told you double overtime third map?
Well, you know what I'd say? I'm excited to do it. Excited to do it while drinking a can of Game Fuel.
Yes, indeed you are. But either way, it's well, I mean, really, again, just a kitchen sink buy for Bans. You got 3 MP9s and 2 FAMASs against, well, the army of Glocks.
The Glock army. Nobody can stop them.
And, I mean, hey, having a smoke, they're gonna find motion there, so that is at least one. And that's about all I'd say you should expect from this round. But then again, crazier things have happened.
Crazier things have happened, Ire. So, kind of want to see... Looks like Leaky's running the entry roll here as he tries to run forward into Banana. But he's going to get dropped immediately by Brace, who's also going to find Hudson. It's just Burn left in Banana, not able to find any sort of follow-up kill, not able to take any sort of guns out of Vertex's hands. And that's going to be an 11th round for them.
Yes, indeed. But now we're getting into the real Counter-Strike, the thick of things. It's the buy round for both teams, and it looks like Bans want to play this as a bit of a bonus round. They're holding on to those 2 MP9s and FAMASs, just waiting to see on what motion buys, and it will be an M4. So they will have a real rifle going into this.
A single real rifle.
Yeah, FAMASs don't really count.
They do
But-
have the luxury of, looking at the round deficit to try and just work with what they got for the time being. They don't need to be buying anything more. And we are going to see Brace trade for Licky over in mid. Attic going to go down as well. The power of these AKs really showing themselves as suddenly Vertex find themselves on the back foot.
Like, especially long range, it's just so hard to make the swim losses work sometimes, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
He had an MP9 just trying to jump at a man, and it does work to find HUDs, but I think that'll be just about it. It's only Falcon in mid. He's trying to save, probably. Hopefully, yeah, he's back
full
on.
spam Christian and me through the wall.
Yeah,
I
it
was
looks like
okay.
we're,
you were coming
if
with
there's
that
any...
fucking bonus round. But yeah,
Bro,
I fucked
Hudson's
up.
got my fucking number, bro. Holy
Yeah,
fuck.
but early flash, and I should have realized he was probably trying to get Mexi.
Just goes, where is it? Doesn't even
It's
run
like,
over.
"Oh,
Like,
where'd the echo? Ugh. It is a chameleon.
Chamberlain!
that's something he'd say, bro.
He did. It's a quote, man. Do you
Oh my
remember?
lord.
What did he say? Did he actually use that chameleon?
Yeah, yeah.
Ah.
Wait, maybe I was from something else.
No, wait, this is on stream, isn't it? I'm not going to say my favorite one.
Yeah, no, I don't
All
think
my
you can
homies
say
love
your
Pat.
favorite one.
Well, he definitely knows we're listening. He's self-aware. Terminate the simulation.
He's making our jobs easier.
Unfortunately, Australia can be no more. They are aware. I'm sorry, Mitch. Well,
I mean,
What?
I muted him, man. I cannot be held responsible.
it's okay. None of us were responsible. We were just innocent bystanders.
Innocent observers.
Yeah. Well, no, our observer is Mitch.
I'm observing, and I'm
Observing
observing Ground
observers.
Zero wanting to push in through apartments, getting a little aggressive here. Maybe getting ready to posture a push in here, but no kills coming out yet. No damage. Well, motion's taking a little bit, but Ground Zero haven't really engineered themselves any sort of advantage that they can try and work off of. Not even a positional advantage. So we need to figure out how they want to try and manage this.
I mean, the weapon the advantage that it's kind of just inherited by they have the gun advantage, of course, so they can afford to just take this round slow, make sure they're not giving up anything they don't need to. Yeah, but they do trade 1-for-1. That's this Falcon. I don't see quite where he's posted up. Well, he dies anyway, so it doesn't matter. And that's the main threat, the AK out of the round. Just now basically we're pushing a Deagle on Ruffle, and he'll die. Everyone will die. Eventually. And that's his 8th round now for Ground Zero, so they're making this deficit rather close now.
Yeah, Vertex not looking as comfortable on the CT side as they did on the T side.
A little surprising, because you do generally say CT's favored on Inferno. But, I mean, hey, maybe they're just not as confident on it. Can't flex their DM as well. They just tried to stack 5 nades down Banana, and it got a kill. That was motion going down, and then Burn's gonna run over Raffle. And
Depressing. We just
Brace.
got double netted in full
What do you
debate.
mean?
How do you not know what liquid is, man?
Yeah, Burn's
Oh,
showing that
I've
he's
forgotten
very
you.
confident taking
No,
these
but we
fights.
told you to Molly Weber deep state
And you
quotes.
have the entirety
I
of
did.
Ground Zero trying to clear out
You were
these
like,
other areas, try and find kills where they can get them, because the bomb is going to go down basically for
Yeah,
free
okay,
on B.
Man,
And you
can I
have
fucking
these
pl-
players, like you have Burn, you have Licky, just trying to find these kills and more importantly, take the rifles out of Vertex's hands.
That's the fucking brain is a bit retarded.
It's my body, head ass.
Maybe we just make him try and execute, and it'll be.
Yeah, literally.
Oh my! Check your corners, bro.
Addict
You
is
hear that,
so
Pez?
sharp.
When you watch this back, bro, check your fucking corners.
Someone pick up Addict, he's insane!
Oh, maybe GZ could have, but no, they didn't.
I love Troublemaker, mate! I'm so thirsty!
Oh, he died!
Can I have some water?
I can't. I'm gonna put this way. We're not showing that on the stream. I heard it, but no one else needs to.
Okay. Alright, so Vertex getting ready to nade stack. So they all just have USPs and frag grenade. Oh, and they're all going mid? Oh, this is incredible.
Oh, and but it's actually the HUDs that's gonna find one. Yeah, this stack's not too effective, all things considered. Not nearly as effective as the ground zero nade stack, which is, well, before we got tastefully interrupted by Rufflecaw, there is gonna say, like, they did the all stack 5 nades down banana, and you can just run past barrels, because if anything was there, it's dead now.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. So we're gonna have a proper rifle round coming out of both teams. Motion picking up the op, I think, is important. He's looking to try and peek mid if he can help it. I'm interested if there was any sort of tactical plan in that last round. Motion's about to encounter Licky here on the mid.
At Ruffle Bird HUD somewhere? I didn't even catch that because I just assumed nothing was going to happen with it, but I don't know, maybe HUD's tried to crawl through a Molotov or whatever and got tagged, but regardless, that is a one-man deficit early for Ground Zero. We have to try and make that up somehow or other. As their players just sort of walk up mid, try and reclaim the space. And we do have, well, only one player really holding mid from Arch, and then the player on the balcony who can peek that if they absolutely need to. It's just a real awkward spam fight there, but no one's gonna take a lick of damage from it, so no one really cares.
Yeah, the players rotated towards A are going to come out now, and you're going to see rotates coming up from Vertex. You know, both Grace and Raffleco rotating through CT spawn, heading over to try and stop players on A, but there are 3 players up for Ground Zero, and they're going to be certainly favored in this fight. Smoke coming out, covering off Library. So how they want to fight this round, take this fight back, retake the site.
And I'm not sure if they're really gonna. They don't have the position, they're smoked off, and really just have so much to lose, because their econ is basically nil.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Oh, well, we're trying all sorts of new and wacky things on this stream. But regardless, Ground Zero, they're almost brought this even keel. Oh no, they have brought this even keel. I forgot the round time doesn't actually update until like after they spawn. So it is even keel. 11-11. And again, not characteristic of a T side of Inferno. But I don't know, Bant's just sort of not feeling as comfortable maybe.
It looks like Falcon is lagging here.
Yeah, maybe it was tech issues.
Yeah, a little concerning. I guess ping's up to 150.
Oh, so it's me playing scrims.
So just sort of players spread out for Ground Zero right now, trying to see what they can find. It looks like they're trying to find something apartments that they can help it. Yeah, you have the entire team rotating over to the A site, looking for players to kill. We do have Addict with a deagle holding this tight angle.
They nearly found motion in mid, but managed to skid out around a corner. And Llama's actually going to trade apps. I don't know how I like taking that fight. It's just confined corridors, and it doesn't tend to work out in your favor, but I mean, hey, trading one for one, it could be worse.
It certainly could be worse, and we have Ground Zero rotated over to B. Going to find an early kill on the Falcon as well as motion, and that's going to crack open the B site. The bomb is going to go down here in a second. And it's just going to be floating around. He does have a rifle. He's going to be able to go get that AK that was dropped in apartments, too.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely could use it. He got some nice little taps down mid to get the first frag, so... I mean, hey, maybe that AK could be crucial for him. Taking a bit of an awkward fight in, like, alt mid here, and he's getting wrapped in apps. I think he's aware.
Yeah.
You know, he has to burn. Burn came through a long way. Wasn't quite ready for it. And that's gonna be, I feel like the first time in forever, maybe even actually this whole series, that I've had advantage Ground Zero.
Yeah, Ground Zero did take the lead with that last round. And, you know, they're just playing a little more patiently. They're finding these frags where they can get them, and more importantly, when they do try and take the site, they're able to find these frags. I couldn't really say exactly what it is Vance needs to, or excuse me, Vertex needs to adjust, because it just seems like they're not really hitting their shots.
Yeah, and it's a little surprising, because I would say that, like, throughout this, they've kind of had maybe a slight edge on the DM, and just given how well they played Dust 2, you would kind of expect it to carry over, but I don't know what it is about their CT side that just it's not quite clicking. It feels like it should be, but it's just not.
You know, I'd like to. I don't know how. I'd imagine CS:GO's stats are very in depth. I'd like to see what the splits are for Ground Zero between maps that they pick and maps that they don't.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we saw last series that we casted of them. They ended up just losing their pick anyway, but I don't know. It's hard to really say. Because, like, what you're seeing in a lot of these series, it's picking maps that both teams are so comfortable on that it almost doesn't matter. It's not like you're picking, like, a nuke or, like, a vertigo
or something.
Where, like, yeah, like, you're picking that because we really want to play this map.
Yeah, but it's just 2 and Inferno. These are maps that, you know, some of these players they've been playing for 10 years now.
And then we have a Toby Baseball giving up a single game!
Well, there is the flurry of frags as we were monologuing. Players walked through smoke and into the waiting arms of Raffleco on A, or B rather. And well, just as we were maybe questioning their CT side, Vance do manage to find a little something here and there. So I don't know. We'll see if they can maybe string this into a cacophonous necklace, maybe, of rounds. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
What the hell are you talking about? Yeah. We are going to see VERTEX putting together a proper buy round. However, first of all, great nades going into Ground Zero, but Ground Zero has a fantastic economy right now. And they're going to be able to keep pounding away at rifles, even if they don't, you know, win the next round or two. In the moment, that's the best way to put it. But Brace is going to go down after trading out. Excuse me, Raffleco traded out pairs. Brace going down in the take on the site. And you know they just need to wait for the smoke for the time being.
Yeah. I think I should have got you to melee.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
I can do like
again,
melee
it's
behind
just, if you're completely locked out of the site, it's so hard to retake if you're all coming from CT.
We gotta be taken out
and they just aren't even gonna try for it, which is pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Just I think it was I don't know why the op is like the furthest thing forward, because that's the thing you theoretically want to save the most, but I don't think it's gonna matter because it looks like all the T's are exiting banana.
You know, if he's confident that he can get a kill on this angle, and he can probably get it a little more comfortably in the.
We can buy here, we should like.
Yeah, but there's so much, the econ on T's are so good that like that one kill isn't even gonna matter compared to how much they're risking for it. But it's again not gonna matter because they didn't even go that way. But advantage back to Ground Zero with that.
Yeah, Ground Zero certainly making this a close game, especially compared to Dust 2.
Yeah. I mean, it felt like Dust 2, as we saw them a couple nights ago, they sort of came back in like these late sections of the rounds, the tail ends, and like made it look like, what if, you know, they had started the game like that? What would we be seeing? And, well, I mean, hey, they've really come into this map with that momentum.
They certainly have. We're going to see all of Ground Zero rotating over towards the A site, looking to push in aggressively into Addict and into Falcon, who may or may not be ready for this. They are both postured by apartments. They're going to be ready to try and stop any potential push that comes forward through there. However, players are going to be coming through the ground floor level of this, and it's maybe not something that they're necessarily ready for. We're going to have Ag taking out Paris, trading out by Licky. Falcon's going to take out Llamas, and Falcon also takes out Licky. And that's suddenly going to put this in the favor of VERTEX, who's going to be able to take this round comfortably. They're also going to get a bunch of AKs out of this.
Yeah, Falcon played that super annoying angle when you smoke pit, where you can just like, kind of jiggle it a little bit by standing on the bike, and played it to absolute perfection, getting a triple kill. Those are the impact frags, those are the impact rounds that you really need sometimes. And maybe that'll put the wind in the sails of Vance to close this one out.
Yeah, however, the economy for Ground Zero, great. Honestly, the economy for both teams looks pretty good. You know, we're probably going to see rifle runs through the end of this game at this point. But, you know, it's very spread out right now. Difficult to tell who wants to push where. You just have Burn looking for some picks on Banana, but it looks like A is kind of going to be the aim for now.
Yeah, just some casual nade being traded on Banana. Burton like, nearly just walked into that Molotov. and actually gets sandwiched between two of them and dies. But Licky did find Bant motion elsewhere, so not gonna matter all too much. And it's just again this unstoppable double pit defense. A for far. Falcon finds one, trades one to Addict, and it's just all Falcon again in his A anchor position.
Yeah, it turns out he plays pretty well. Falcon managing to get the molly kill on the Licky. Falcon plays really well when he's not 150 ping. He's going to find pairs as well. And he's on that young 3K, looking to see if he can find HUDs as well. HUD's hiding apartments right now.
Yeah. I feel really bad for Licky because he was just in Graveyard and the Molotov like picked on to him. Poor guy. But yeah, HUD's, he didn't have much of a shot in that. Had to jump down for that.
Why are they trying to run at Pat, man?
And some advantage going back to Vance.
I'm getting screamed at here. But it's shocked. You know, you just go from silence and you just hear a man screaming. But yeah, as I said, this Vance, they're real close to getting this amount of point. And when you're trading rounds like this, you know, it's all down to just those one crucial moments that could determine the fate of the series.
Yeah, but a player who's been a little quieter on this map is Motion. He's been having a little bit of trouble finding these kills with the AWP. I almost want to say he's been a little more passive than I would expect. However, he's about to encounter pairs here as he peeks.
And yeah, she gets flashed out there control. The Falcon's there to defend his buddy, trade his life for it. And will he be avenged? You know, maybe that's the PTSD that Motion needs to just frag out.
Yeah, and it looks like there were rotates coming out, but then they backed off, and it looks like Ground Zero is maybe going to be backing off from this push for the moment as well, deciding that they don't want to go in just yet.
And, yeah, but yeah, this is the point where just you trade frags and then just everyone kind of waits for spokes to fade.
Yeah, it comes to a screeching halt, such as the way of Inferno.
Oh, but the bomb is wrapped through CT. It's only the bomb, mind you. So, there you go. That's just it's finally getting the message. That could have been bad. But regardless, they're very sunpans. But despite that, Licky just denies Ruffle. And now we just have the one man hiding in Emo. And it's going to be found because he's the only one there. Everyone going to clear that corner if there's nothing else going on.
Yeah, kind of a slow rotate coming out from Vertex. And this is likely going to take the score back to 14-14. So getting real tight in the end of the round here, and next round is going to be some team going to match point.
Yeah, and then after that, it's going to be either a map win or overtime. I am a psychic. Actually, no, that's not true because of Grand. Wait, no, yeah, actually, I can do math. No, I'm not, but I am. I don't know. Because I'm like, oh yeah, wait, but Ground Zero only had 13 rounds, but they haven't won yet. Oh, actually, they could be shot. At risk. Addict did fall, but Motion could have managed to hold on to it. And I almost wonder if he trades the op, because like not to throw too much shade, obviously, but like you maybe want to hand it to someone who's fragging out a little more.
You know what? Here's the thing, Ira, and this is something that you see in all sports. The best you can't. If you got a player who's in a rut, you kind of need to let them work it out on their own. They do have a map up.
That's true.
They're capable of kind of letting him figure it out, because it can be difficult to come back in these things, both mechanically and psychologically. Yeah.
Oh, but that's not a good start. 3 players they have made. I don't even know how that happened. It was probably on the end. And yeah, Addict is gonna dive for it. But I do like that Motion was a little more confident in that round, actually peeking mid instead of just holding it passively like he is now. Didn't find a fight, but I mean, at least it shows that he still thinks that, like, he can do it. So that's a good sign, if anything. But
yeah,
again,
it seems like... Oh, go on.
Yeah, see, again, you can pop flash thing release, and Llamas was waiting for those retreating players in out. Super smart play. And with Brace getting traded out, that's a site solidly in the hands of Ground Zero, and looking like it's going to be 15 for them, barring any heroics from Raffle and Falcon.
Yeah, you've just been seeing Motion completely getting stifled by pairs pushing into apartments and throwing a flashbang out the lower doors every round. You kind of reach a point where it's like, okay, well, we gotta... And they realized this, which is why you saw them pushing in a player through apartments to pick off Motion when he tried to rotate out. It worked brilliantly for them. And
Yeah.
I think what's also huge about this is that going into the next round, Vertex is going to have some pretty terrible eco. You know, you have 2 players on $0. You're going to have Raffleco and Falcon likely saving their rifles, but, you know, it's not favorable for them.
But then again, you have seen them do big damage with these pistols and kind of mixed buys, so it's definitely possible. And there's that stat as well. Burned had a 229 damage grenade at the start of that round.
Wow.
And we're going to see a pause. I assume, I would be surprised this is tactical. Ben's just going to try to maybe figure out what they are, but we'll probably get confirmation on that soon enough. It is indeed a Bant's tactical pause.
I mean,
And,
Vertex.
Vertex. I don't know. It's confusing, man.
It's not that confusing.
It's kind of confusing. Give me some credit here. I don't know. But, I mean, understandable why they would want to. They're, of course, facing the end of this map, so you may as well use it.
That's a very good point. Use it or lose it.
Yeah, because if you lose this round, then like you wouldn't have been able to take it anyway. So I mean, hey, may as well try.
This is a very good point, Ire. So how does Ground Zero want to approach this? We have lots of players pushing up old mid, trying to take apartments. That's not a great Molotov.
Yeah.
Kind of just stop Ground Zero from pushing on their own. But we do have these 2 players in the pit. We have Addict and we have Falcon, who have really pulled some heroics before.
Yeah, Falcon in particular in that pit area, but I don't know. It's like there's been no real ground denied for Ground Zero this half, or at least this round really. Like they have Banana, they have Apps, they have pretty much everything they could ask for at this point in the round, and it just feels like it feels like Vertex are playing scared and like just not wanting to contest them. But you know that they do have the potential firepower at the very least.
Yeah, so Ground Zero getting ready to push Banana. They've got not a lot of utility, frankly. So how they plan to break into the site is really a mystery to me, but I suppose that we're going to find out in the next few seconds here. Burn in a really cheeky spot, you know, ready to push in with it. And here come the nades. Smoke's about to fade, and Ground Zero are going to be trying to go on in.
There is there's a gap in that CT smoke, but I don't think anyone's gonna try to exploit it, but that could be pretty easy to do. But either way, T's finally start walking through Banana and his stereo frags and the entry to the site. This is not looking good for the remaining Vertex players here. So they're gonna, well, they have to try. I mean, it doesn't matter. May as well try it all. And Motion losing his life early into that. It is looking increasingly more likely, barring some incredible risks, that we will be going map 3.
So here's the interesting thing, Ire. We talked earlier about, you know, map picks and how players are favored and such. Just going to be Attic left alive, trying to pull this off on his own. We talked about teams being able to play their map picks a little more comfortably, but the last map is going to be Mirage, and neither team really picked that. You know, that was just a result of the pick ban process. So,
but again, Mirage, even more so than Inferno, I would say, is just like it is the default pug map. It's the map that everybody and their mom knows how to play.
Well, you know what? You can say that, but you can say that about Dust 2 as well.
Yeah, I think so. But like, I feel like we had Dust 2 out of the rotation for a while. It did like change a little bit, and I feel like it in a lot of ways became less favored by especially some teams. But like everyone plays Mirage, so you would expect it to be pretty even.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that it won't be even or anything. I'm just saying that you know, it seems as though it being a map that everybody knows is not necessarily the best way to look at it. Is, you know, I would expect these teams to both be incredibly well versed in Mirage. Don't get me wrong, but you know, well, let's see what happens.
Yeah, they're just gonna have to, I don't know, maybe it could be just that there's a DM edge on one of these teams, and you know, we did see some players like, you know, you don't want to be like too harsh to call someone out, but like Motion, who was having a bit of a hard time getting bedded into this map. You know, it could be kind of a bad sign on Mirage, where again, when these teams are tactically, theoretically pretty much equal, those little edges in DM could make a big difference. But in the meantime, we're going to be thrown to a quick break here between maps. stick around for this third map decider. We'll see you there.
Everybody loves an underdog. Who needs to be liked?
Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
I was born like a fire in the eye of a hurricane. Always told, stay in line, be alright, better play it safe. I walk a different path, nothing can hold me back. I've passed the point of no return, something is calling me, it's in the air that I breathe. Bring me back to life again. Dancing with my fear, burning with desire. We gon' take it to the edge and come alive. Go to hell and back just to feel the fire. We gon' turn up in this place and come alive.
Fly so high they can't touch us. So top notch, none above us. We done came so far, now we up now. Had a vision, stuck to it, never back down. Never had much, now we own the whole thing. Spread it all around the world, watch it all change. Came alive, now they all see the greatness. Light shine so hard they can't take it.
Dancing with my fear, burning with desire. We gon' take it to the edge and come alive. Go to hell and back just to feel the fire. We gon' turn up in this place and come alive.
Come alive.
I walk a different path, nothing can hold me back. I passed the point of no return, something is calling me, it's in the air that I breathe. Bring me back to life again. Dancing with my fear, burning with desire. We gon' take it to the edge and come alive. Go to hell and back just to feel the fire. We gon' turn up in this place and come alive.
Come alive. Come alive. Come alive. Come alive, come alive, come alive in the nighttime. Come alive, come alive, come alive in the nighttime. Come alive, come alive, come alive in the nighttime.
Come alive. Oh, I see the signs and I see we're there, and I feel the lies and I feel the same. Forever hold, no matter if we're cast away. A fire in the dark. I know that you won't be where you will again.
Alrighty, everyone, welcome back to CappingTV. It is the third map, the decider. It has gone the distance. It is Mirage to decide which of these two teams, Ground Zero or VERTEX, is going to be continuing on in the lower bracket, and who is going to lose their shot at the ESL Pro League. I am here. Well, of course, it is. I'm here. I'm here with Bulldozer. Still, despite it being very, very early for Bill. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, it's 5 a.m., which, you know, it's my day off, thank goodness, because...
Just letting you guys know, I had to leave Wilson tonight. I'm not losing this game. Best of 3 against GZ. I'm coming for you, Rooster.
What?
Alright, well, that was it. That was an artistic
producer trying to...
I'm Rooster.
Artistic flourish.
Baka.
Are you sure? Are you sure I can talk?
Yeah, that's okay. We just have some.
Do I have your
chickens.
permission? You brought me on specifically so I could talk. Yeah. If I had work today, I'd be going to work in like 30 minutes. So, thank goodness for that.
And thank goodness for that. But
tell Carol I said hi, man. Shout to his family.
No, sorry for cutting you off.
No, you're good. But I was just gonna say we are actually just waiting on a knife round to come in because, well, we actually need one of those in this map.
That we do. Haven't seen anything about these players' knife DM, but I'm sure that it's very good.
Boys, one time, right? One time. What time is it? Go!
Cook, perhaps.
You want to see some? You want to give us some epic knife round casting, Ire?
Alright, we're gonna have to have the mosh pit set up here on a ramp. Trading 1-4-1 so far. It's just back and forth. All of these players yesterday, it's only pairs, and he gets the epic 3K. The melee kills coming out, and that is gonna be Ground Zero deciding where they want to start. And I'm sure we'll know that just soon enough. It looks like they're starting CT side. Unless it is just a fake restart. Yeah, we have green text, so they will be starting CT side. Into the first pistol. And watch the play this. Pears has a kit. But no one else has bought anything just yet. And we've got a pretty heavy utility buy coming out for the T's. 2 players with util, and they dropped a P250 to Addict so he can be the raid boss for this pistol. And it looks like they actually managed to peek mid on this.
VERTEX deciding to Voltron Addict up, let him do the big boy damage, and they're just kind of standing outside of mid. Looks like A is the goal with this push. You do have players pushing out a ramp, one on Tetris now.
And he's actually just gonna barrel across sight,
he's
run
so
for
confident.
this connector smoke. I mean, hey, with the players in mid, you don't really blame them with the traded worst case scenario, and that's exactly what happens. Burn getting capped in the back of the head. We actually have players now contesting B. They're kind of all over the place right now. And with the B players all falling, that is going to be where the round ends.
Let's go!
A flurry of frag will mean that VERTEX is off to the good start here on the decider.
Yeah, VERTEX looking much more confident on this map. Then again, they look pretty confident on the T side of Inferno as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, their CT sides were really the lacking thing overall. It's where they almost kind of started slipping on us too, and, well, completely gave up Inferno, so we'll remain to see. But they are going to need to keep up their excellent T sides as well, if they want a shot at this. And
Yeah,
again,
so
Ground Zero really likes after pistols. It's the deco.
yeah, we got Armored Deagle coming out from everybody on Ground Zero, which that's a lot of money spent, if you ask me.
I mean, they went for the full force, which I don't know. Some teams, they like to go for like the half buys after these. I can see the philosophy as to why you would force, but I don't know. It feels like it comes down to just how your team wants to play, really. But
yeah, and it seems as though Ground Zero wants to play this very aggressively. Burnrock moving into the front ladder room into the middle. Seems like he's focusing on making it over to A more than anything. However, all of VERTEX is going to be moving into the connector.
Ooh, ate a fat aid there too. And Pears is going to have the first frag of the game. And we'll trade it up eventually, but a lot of time wasted spam being exchanged. Really unlucky that they haven't managed to find any kills. Brace on 3 and Falcon on 14 health. So both could have died. A little unfortunate.
Yeah, however,
And they are
Raffleco
fighting-
playing over by Palace. He was able to find one kill. He just finds Llamas as well. Burns gonna go down in the back lines, and finally it's just Licky going down by
The
Raffleco. Raffleco picking up 3 kills that round. Able to do a lot of work after buying up that AK.
Yeah, the longest range fight ended up being the one person who had full health, so well positioned for the T's there to clean up any threats that those deagles were providing. And this is apparently a Vertex tactical pause, I'm being told, so I mean, they're going into a full eco on the side of GC, so I'm a little curious as to why they would take a tac pause, but I mean, who knows, they're just talking things over, getting it all sussed and sorted. Can never hurt, really.
Yeah, it seems like they kind of got the plan out that they wanted to. That was very early, honestly.
Yeah, you'd think, like, if you just came to the map, you'd have talked in pregame, but...
Especially since you have to know that their eco's terrible right now.
Yeah. I mean, you went up against Eagle Armor, like, they're gonna have no money. And, well, it looks like the strat is to all walk ramp, one walk palace. Where's the 5th player for GC? It's in that spot, he's on Cat.
Oh, it's Brace is running in with the MAC-10, sprinting in. He's in market right now. He's basically already got the site relatively locked down, so the rest of Vertex can really try and come apartments if they want to.
Yeah, and it'll finally be Motion finding the MAC-10 shot. They're all still walking with these USPs. It is something to see. It's like a migration. It's a freak of nature. And I've noticed the TV has not been knifed by Vertex, so
you gotta
that
knife
could
the TV.
it could come back to bite them here.
You gotta knife it for good luck, man. Otherwise, what's
It's
the
true.
point?
Yeah, you'll just lose.
Yeah. And they don't really have any other option when they're trying to, bring the pain train to apartments.
And unfortunately for all 4 of these players, no one's going to be exiting apps. They already cleared market with the MAC-10 just going Yum. So they're going to leave that way because
Well, they get
are
to save some important now.
smart cookies.
Ooh, hold on. What was that grenade? Oh, that was Vance spraying across 4 of them.
Yeah, no, that wasn't even a nade.
That was just him having bullets and them standing within 10 pixels of each other.
Yeah, that's just how it is sometimes.
It
But
certainly is. So we're gonna have a real gun round here. Brace still running the MAC-10, gonna be, I suppose, trying to find that entry maneuver. But he's also got the bomb, so they must be very confident in their ability to push what looks to be the B site.
people trying to walk through doorways, it's kind of hard when you walk into each other. But regardless, actually we'll trade out for the AK, so maybe they weren't as confident as you thought they were.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're a lot more confident than I think they are.
Well, who knows, right? But it's gonna be the full BX here. All these Molotovs supposed to go galore, and Lava's is gonna run over in the site. It's just Liku on Cat, like, trying to just fumble with some grenades, do something. But Burn got mollied into the open, had to try and take the fight, and is gonna lose it. So 2v3, try to retake on B. Paris is already through market. I don't think they know, but he's fluffed the shot, so now they definitely know.
You too, bro. Good shit, Pat.
Yeah, very commanding
Kenji, man.
position for Vertex.
Yeah,
Gonna look
all
to
this
close
utility,
this
they got
round out
mollied out.
sooner rather than later.
Yeah, using all this utility really smartly. But oh, Huds, he was sneaky naps. He's got their number.
Massive.
Could potentially win
Good
this
picture.
2v
Yeah.
still.
If he can find Brace here, then
That's actually massive on
we'll see
them. Good
exactly
shit.
how low Addict is. But we're getting to the point where with having no kit, he really can't afford to try and make that happen anymore.
Yeah, and I played it smart. He knew he was low there. Just didn't have to peek. Just stay in my little hidey corner, and it all works out. It's just like real life.
Exactly. Higher.
Yeah. That's what we're all doing right now, sheltering in place. At least in America. I think Australia is better.
Not only am I not sheltering in place, I have 2 jobs.
Ah, well, some of us are sheltering in place. You're an essential worker.
Super essential.
You are essential indeed. Okay, Burns
So,
on the
eco
dualies.
round. Yeah, we got dualies coming
I
up.
like
Burns.
this
Didn't Burns
theory.
do this last week too?
Well, he did it in the pistol, which makes sense. But now he's doing it jumping on the cat. I almost wonder if this was a misbuy.
Well, you know what? There's such an amount of machismo with the dualies. I gotta respect it, even if it wasn't. You know, he stuck with it.
Oh yeah, I mean, you gotta go with it. It's just the Chad move, really. And he's
However,
just gonna be chilling in ladder with him.
Vertex kind of taking their time right now, waiting to try and execute onto site, and all the smokes are coming out. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. So gonna find an early pick onto HUD, who's standing outside the palace, but Pears is gonna grab the trade out with the duo, and I was gonna say he's gonna get an AK for his troubles, but he goes down to Falcon. Falcon gets traded out by Licky.
Whoever unramped through that Molotov is very, very lucky because they stood in the middle of the site to throw it, and then two people just not look at them.
And
But,
Motion actually drops the op for a rifle, manages to find the kill on the burn. And, you know, smart play by him. The op is still over by Tetris if they get an opportunity to go grab that. But there is just going to be one player up. Slicky with half health, pushing through CT. He's going to get taken down by Brace without too much of an issue.
I'm a little surprised they didn't just plant it on the site and play it safe because, you know, you never want to risk the round, right?
Yeah.
Like, we've seen crazier stuff, and, you know, to just both chase, it seems a little needlessly risky. Obviously, worked out fine, so whatever. But, you know, it's something you want to see if you really don't want to win this. But
okay,
they
two
are
things worth noting real quick. We have double op coming out of Ground Zero, but also Brace picked up the op.
Nope, Nate's gone.
Which I was going to say is different than what we've seen the last couple maps, but he's going to get immediately taken down by Pears.
Yeah. How was it like holding that gun, Brace? I hope you enjoyed it.
Incredible for about 7 seconds there.
And, well, off that, it's just going to be all of these people running in saying the waterfall worked once, it might work again. But Licky's a little more on top of it this time, we'll at least trade even. And the burn will find addicts, so yeah, the waterfall was going into maybe perhaps more of an arid desert.
Yeah, Motion are almost pulling out a pretty sick spray transfer there, but...
They got another pause.
Oh my goodness.
Is this... well, we don't know yet what this is for, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was a vector pause, attack pause here. Because they do like those, seemingly. They lost a round. What did we do wrong?
Well, they only have so many pauses that they can use.
Yes, but... I don't know, they're just feeling confident. Saying like, hey, if we just use these now, we'll get the scoreline and it won't matter. But we don't even know if that was actually what the pause was. It was definitely attack pause with how fast it was over, but... I don't know which team it was for.
Yeah, so we have Motion back on the op. He looks like he wants to head over towards mid to try and peek it. You know, Vance seems very comfortable on their CT side.
Yeah. He won the duel last time, did Motion, so... Or rather, he did lose the duel last time, rather. And, HUD's gonna trade with Licky, so... I don't know, 1 for 1. This does favor the T side, as it, forces the CTs to spread their defense, and you can't really watch all the little doors and just every little angle. So... They're gonna be okay with this, and the double op, it makes it a little, I would say, more awkward than it even would be otherwise.
Well, that kind of depends on where they go, because as it stands when they're playing around mid, there's so many sightlines that just dominate this map. But once they get onto a site, those ops do become pretty awkward. But in the meantime, you know, having 2 of them is really not as detrimental as you would think. I like this angle Burns got. I don't know if it's actually going to come to any sort of fruition.
It's just like, both the ops are on A, so if they hit B, the ops are going to be like dead weight and retakes, basically. But if it hits A, then it'll work out spectacularly. So it's that's the gambit they're playing.
Well, good news for Vertex, because they're over on B. They're executing now.
Did just manage to rotate over, actually really against the person walking in front of the window. It does hit a nice one, he gets it 2v2, but again, it's a double off retake. It's so awkward, really. We have ops potentially playing Ring Around the Rosie in Market.
Yeah, as Pears is just holding Market, and they're both in Market. This is...
Yeah, you're also both coming from the same place, yeah. Like, it's the 2 worst things you do retakes, which is retake with an op and retake from the same place.
There's situations where you can... Oh, wow.
Yeah. Pears was so fortunate, he jumped over the corner, got legged. Still died anyway, but he managed to get at least traded for it.
I was gonna say there's situations where it's okay to, you know, push through the same doorway or something, but like,
yeah,
it's not a single doorway, and it's not Market.
Yeah. Well, it's just like if you both are coming from the same place, then they don't have to look anywhere else, and they can just focus on you, and it really limits your options. But regardless, I mean, I'm surprised they kind of decided to force this. I would have expected them to kind of take a half fight, but maybe if you're just feeling confident, wanting to get into this, not let Vance get too far ahead of himself. But, you know, Burn and Licky on the rifles, an SMG, some pistols, got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of a clunky buy out of GZ, but, you know, we got Ground Zero trying to figure out how they want to work this. Or not Ground Zero, excuse me, Vertex. Trying to figure out how they want to work this, but they are just trying to do what they can, get comfortable middle. We are going to have a pick coming out of ladder room in the middle, Brace taking down Burn.
Yeah,
Ollie's coming out in the catwalk, and it looks like we're going to see Vertex getting into A site pretty comfortably.
Yeah, that was a really good in one of the rifles for them. Licky's got the other one. He has put it to work on some motion. And Pear's got the CZ. Alright, that could be something, but I don't know. Only Licky up. You'd have to imagine he wants to save unless he finds something really lucky here. He's posturing towards the side. I guess posturing more for exits than anything. Which could be kind of helpful for them. The econ on Vertex isn't bad. Like, they'll be fine next round, especially with the bomb plant, but it's not great either.
Yeah, so we have Licky backing out all the way. He just wants to hold on to this rifle. He's going to be getting into apartments. Rafko kind of in a position where he could maybe punish him if he goes too far, but we saw this same spot earlier with when all the players were hiding on that pistol round.
This is so awkward. He's going to get pinched.
Yeah.
Well, no, never mind, because Rafko's actually going to walk away through. It might. I think the round's going to time out. Yeah, it will. So Licky will manage to hold on to his M4.
Still not a lot of money on the CT side.
Yeah, it really isn't. I mean, that's the disadvantage of taking that force. Windows is freaking out because my phone is about to die, and it's like a bomb, and it's also my camera.
It's not ideal.
Well, we'll see how that works out. But anyway, only Licky with this rifle saved over, and just some deagles and armor surrounding him. And basically just got to play for Licky to get a play, and if it works out, great, and if not, then, well, we're going to buy next round anyway.
Hey, good point. Excuse me. Vance currently looking like they want to execute on to B. First, they need to see if they can find any kills. We have players actually rotating into mid now. And that is going to be the first kill out onto HUDs. Smoke's going out. Going to find Burn as well. Molotov covering Cat, and we do have the players pushing in towards A. Smokes are out. So suddenly this becomes who can find the kill first.
Well, it's probably not going to be Licky because he's just been mollied out again. And all these players are looking like they want to wrap around either taps or A. We'll have to see where they go here. It looks like it's going to be A, which would make a lot of sense. It's really only pairs there for now, just kind of sitting around in jungle. And he thinks they're still in mid, so he's actually focused more on connector. But he's about to be proven very, very wrong. Llama's on site, spots the player's ramp, but can't do much about it with only a deagle. And, you know, Paris, he'll do his best to get one. I almost just want Licky to just save this. Doesn't really matter that he died, but, I mean, he would have been able to have a more solid buy.
Yes, that is going to be an 8th round for Vance. However, Ground Zero finally has the money to maybe put together a proper buy. And, you know, with how these rounds have been going, we've seen a couple buys out of them, but, you know, this is just another chance for them to try and start putting rounds on the board, because this already is the 10th round. And
yeah,
dare I say that it's not likely they're going to win 5 straight. 6 straight, excuse me.
Well, they could.
I'm not saying they can, I'm just saying, you know, statistically speaking or whatever.
You are correct, of course. Ooh, there's a little bit of smoke. Can Licky find it? He can. Actually, Hudson stole the kill just with like a random shot from smoke. Unfortunate. But, I mean, dude turned 1 for 1 on his sight take, and the ball is down. Okay, now Falcon, he's extending that lead for them. And, I don't know. It's even numbers, but okay, never mind. Burn does manage to make it work. So, I don't fancy their chances here, and yeah, their finally Brace is going to be involved with Cat.
Ooh, good shot out of motion.
Yeah. And, I don't know, just towards the end of that retake, there was no positioning for them. They were smoked out in CT, and the rest of the players just couldn't make it work, and really the flank from Brace sealed it. But
yeah, so
I mean-
money's once again not great for,
Yeah.
for Grunt. It's just this constant, one step forward, 2 steps back. They're going to have to save for another round or 2 before they can really sort of put together another buy. But, Vertex is playing like they're so confident.
Yeah, and well, there's Addict just kind of racking up some kills and did more eco frags for him. Rufflecoat gonna go down to Burn, and I've noticed that we haven't really had as much of his banter. I think he's kind of taking this one seriously. I think he has to.
Yeah, I think after losing that second map, he said, "Okay, well, let's, it's okay it's good to have fun when you're playing games, but oh my god, but you still do want to win the games."
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, we saw him on the top of the scoreboard for both of those, but now he's kind
Boys,
of
I'm
reversed.
at level
He's on
with you. I'm
bottom.
on my 3rd Red Bull. I think I'm gonna die.
I would be a little more concerned about that if Vertex weren't still.
I think he heard us because he's
Addict Epic 3K
immediately
round,
started
bro.
talking.
Keep it coming. Very awesome.
He's got the stream
Sick
up
round,
on his
bro.
other monitor or something.
I am almost certain of it.
This Red Bull's not doing me favors.
I think he's dying from energy drink overdose.
Tastes like metal.
He may be having a heart attack too. I don't know.
Toby's talking like he's had 10 of them already, bro. He's freaking rap god in. I'm scared.
But I mean, regardless, these players are just gonna walk their way out of Palace. They're
The
clearing
band's
all their
gaming house
stuff,
is
being
looking good.
thorough.
Everyone's high-fiving, fist-bumping. I hope it continues. If we lose this round, it's not going to be good for morale.
Yeah. Well, we have an indirect interview coming in. He's saying that everyone's still they're in it. They're
Toby's
high fiving, they're
chair's
fist
leaned
bumping,
all the way
but
down because he's pretty small.
they got the good morale at least. So that's good. It's good to hear. What is it?
So in the meantime, Vertex has taken A, once again, pretty comfortably, without too much of an issue, without too much of a fight put up from Ground Zero. Ground Zero are sending it back all the way off. Llamas has an AK, but Licky doesn't really have any sort of gun at all. Which is, I suppose, why he's playing a little more aggressively, a little more on site, looking for exits, but I would not be surprised if he did not really meet anybody on B.
At least I didn't have armor and a deagle. That's something to take out of it. So he'll be happy with it. And well, not happy with it because he would have been happy with like a round win maybe, but he'll be satisfied. And yeah, this is dire straits at this point for Ground Zero, I think, because their trend in their games has seemingly been like monumental comebacks. You don't want to push that too far.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I don't know if they're stronger on the T side or if they're stronger in the second half or exactly what it is, but it takes Ground Zero a little bit of time to find their footing. But
yeah, but I don't know. You don't.
This
wanna
is still
see that.
a lot.
Ooh, there's a very intense up duel potentially happening in Palace, but I don't think anyone's gonna actually peek the angle, which is very unfortunate. Yeah, Motion's just gonna back on off. Just trying to punish anyone who got a little too greedy on A site.
Yeah, we do have players from Vertex pushing from underpass, trying to see if they can take some ground on mid. Oh my god, excuse me. Sorry, y'all. Paris is gonna find Raffleco. Pretty important pick for Vertex. See if they can push this advantage a little bit and turn it into a round win. And Burn is actually going to pick off Brace, who was looking for the push. Trying to get that trade out. Not going to work so well for Vertex.
Okay.
And, as the remaining players try... Okay.
Okay, we have it.
As the remaining players try and execute onto the B site, you're going to see the rotates come out of Ground Zero, and they're going to be able to really not even lose anybody as they close out that round.
The server had a little jitter, so it looked like Licky just got 3 kills at the same time, but unfortunately, no, they were slightly apart in time. And, I mean, hey, that's Ground Zero. They got their second round. And, I don't know, but that's the win they deserve. I think they need to try and get to 5 rounds here, because you just want that little bit of cushion. You want that room for error, even if, like, your T side is godlike,
Yeah, of course, but, taking the last 3 rounds entirely is a pretty big ask.
What is that?
It's not easy.
What
Counter-Strike's
is that?
not easy, Ire.
It is not. But
Oh, Burn seems to have a pretty good idea of what's going on. Able to find the pick onto Raffleco. pretty simply going to close off the over or the underpass push, and now he's just watching in the regular op spots, see who he can find.
Beef just flashed a little bit, unfortunately, but I mean, again, it doesn't really matter because there's no one peeking you at the moment. Just gonna hold the classical crack into Palace. Not much to really write home about, and I mean, this is to be expected from Ground Zero. You know, you get that one man up, you're not gonna challenge for another.
Yeah, we do have Attic pushing up mid pretty aggressively. He's going to see if he can find some sort of entry frag. His Molotovs go out, one cutting off Catwalk. His players are now pushing into A site.
Oh,
we have Attic running forward. We have Motion trying to find kills on Catwalk. And it's really just Attic and Falcon clearing out this site.
Falcon picks it up. That's a massive 4 kills to the site. Can you believe that? That was insane. That turned that around so quickly. Nice, let's go.
I think the energy drinks that he was mentioning have gotten to him because I am just waiting for this man to just burst his coronary artery. But hey, at least he's enthusiastic.
He is certainly enthusiastic. We have some smokes being lined up here, and it looks like a possible mid push to A. We actually have bomb going B.
Ooh,
So,
Burn
not-
got a nice early pick in mid and a second. Just extending his will onto the catwalk area.
Yeah, however, Addict is going to find HUDs pushed up on ramp. And, you know, that could give them an opportunity depending on which way they want to go. And it looks like you see players going off towards B. They want to avoid Burn wherever he's holding. Falcon manages to find Llamas, which is going to crack open this B site for them.
Yeah, and Burn, he didn't hear the man jump out of apps, so he'll be absolutely blindsided by Falcon. And just like that, it's only Nicky. He's in a 1v2 here, half health, mollied out again. Might burn. Doesn't.
Fantastic,
I'll say
Molly.
how didn't hear you, but like.
Oh, just the slow crouch peek. Gonna find him in the end. That's now 12-2 for Bance, the last round of the half. Ground Zero, man. It's not looking too good. They really need to win this one just to, like, give them an idea of, like, hey, if we lose the pistol, we're not just dead.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not looking good for Ground Zero.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
It really isn't, but I mean, hey, they've got some interesting guns in here. We got a scout. Those were really effective on Dust too, but we never saw them again. After that round. And with Llamas going down, that doesn't spell good signs for the rest of it. B site is taken by a solo opper, but what is going on B? He's just done the tango on them. He's wrapped all the people inside. He manages to find Licky on the chase. Motion is playing them like a fiddle. He dies to Burn eventually, but like, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, Burn's gonna, you know, Burn is.
He's gonna try his darndest.
Fuck, actually.
Burn has been the far and away star player for Ground Zero, and really feels like he's been dragging them through the few rounds that they've gotten in Mirage. But
yeah,
I
so
think
I suppose if there's anybody who wanted to
ask.
try and clutch this out with an op, it would certainly be Burn, but...
Oh, nah. Yeah, that was a little too big of an ask for him. Got 2 kills in the round, but 13-2. I mean, it's possible, but this is going to be rough for Ground Zero. They need to play perfect. Yes, unfortunately, I do not have a camera. My phone overheated and died.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So you know who I noticed has really stepped up this round? Or this half, excuse me.
Who is that?
Motion. Motion was
Yeah, he really
having
had-
a little bit of a rough Inferno, but he's brought it back. I think, I want to say he got 13 or 14 kills in that first half. So he's certainly been, you know, been able to take these early frags, be able to close out sightlines, and he's been doing a whole lot more work on Mirage than he was doing on Inferno, which, you know, is also really attributed to the heavier sightlines on Mirage, you know. But I'm not going to pretend like he's not contributing a whole lot more than he was in the previous round. So we are going to have green text. Match is going to go live with the pistol round. Bance on an 11-round advantage.
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen them kind of choke before. We'll have to see how they play this, and for once, their CT pistol is going to be like standard and not people running down mid. So you'll love to see it. And all the T's, they're not even bothering trying to run a default or create presence. They're just all walking outside of A, so it's going to be a fairly fast hit. Smoke's coming out into the standard spots, and what's just be the jump out from now. They're trading back and forth now, but the site is a crossfire. It's a trap, and they are just going to wipe them. So, yeah, that wasn't the start that Ground Zero wanted.
Yeah, very confident play. Raffleco buying a rifle, Emotion buying a rifle as well. They're really looking to close this down immediately.
I mean,
we
you
just have the
can't blame
deco
them.
coming out from Ground Zero. Yeah, I mean, I can't. Yeah, you're right. I don't blame them for wanting to end this game now.
I think you want them to end
We
this
have
game right
Brace
now,
pushing
too.
up so aggressively. Hey, man, I want the best game possible. And to go to bed.
How did I not know it was going to be 4
Secondarily, though.
Yeah,
I
of
forgot who I was
course.
playing against.
But, I don't know.
I'm a fool.
You got 2 Deagles here. They could have some heroics. And,
You know what? They maybe could, Ire.
Well, I noticed I didn't mention llamas in that. It was the 2 Deagles, so I am correct still. And I mean, hey,
thought you were
Burn.
his teammates.
Burn has a
Fuck.
mental Deagle, man. I'm telling you, we saw it last, or not last night, but a couple nights ago.
He's not
We saw
shooting
it
the
here,
deagle
too.
in his hand.
He's
He's
not
shooting
even.
the deagle in
He
his
doesn't
heart.
even have the Deagle. That is true. Because if your heart's in it, then you can win it.
Well, somebody who's he's gonna
Burn.
need his heart to be in it now because it's just burn up.
Burn's heart is about to be all over the wall.
So Rolfenko takes down Burn, and that's gonna be, match point for Vertex.
Series point. It is MDL. Your life depends on this Ground Zero point.
Yeah, I guess this is they're out of playoffs if they lose
this is the lower bracket.
Yeah, this is the big boy round. This one's for all the marbles.
It's squeaky bum time, as you might say. And well, we're just gonna see some really fast nades from the T side trying to go on to A. Yeah, they're just straight on it. Vicky gets a nice little deagle frag on the entry and Burn. So favorable trades to the site, but will they clear the men in Ninja? No, they're not. They're planting. But he tried to spray through the smoke and he's not gonna find it. Still found
He goes, I
Burn.
made the play, I made the play.
Oh no, that's very tragic. It was looking so good at the start for Ground Zero, but it is not to be. The defuse is gonna come in, and those are GGs. 2-1 to Vertex.
Yep, that's gonna be in the game. Okay. That was a lot more confident than they looked in the second map, really. Oh, you got a nice little picture of Ire. That's really sweet. I like that.
Hey.
Well, how old are you in that pic, Ire? Are you like 12?
Oh, is this the picture of me with the oh no. That I actually don't remember where the picture was. That's unfortunate.
Oh,
It doesn't even fit.
you're adorable. I just
That was
want to
like-
say that.
Oh, that was like 2 years ago.
Oh.
So 15.
No, Vertex won.
Yes.
Vertex won handily. They looked very confident. They kind of understood that they were playing a lot stronger there. And eventually you saw their play reflect that.
Yeah, I mean, they really closed it down on Mirage. Just, they didn't leave any chance for them to choke.
Yeah.
Like they have in the past. So, at the very least, they will be moving on. I don't know exactly who they're going to be playing. I should probably pull up that page.
Yeah, I don't know who they're going to be playing.
My Discord's close to it.
Oh my goodness. Hold on, I got this here.
You got this.
I don't know how to navigate HLTV, bear with me. I don't actually know this either.
I do know how, but I don't have the page open.
They will be playing against... Order Rooster, yeah.
The loser of Order versus Rooster will apparently be who they play against. So.
Rooster having beaten Ground Zero last week, and so whoever Vertex plays should be a pretty good game for what it's worth.
That is true. But otherwise, thank you everyone for coming out and watching this lovely bit of Australian Counter-Strike with us tonight. Thank you to Mitch, our producer, and of course to you, Bulldozer, for sacrificing your sleep and sanity to come and cast with me tonight.
Yeah, it is now 6 a.m. I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah. And,
Thank you,
about all.
Ire, for being here with me, and thank you, Mitch, for doing the production for this.
And be sure to follow CappingTV for all sorts of great Australian coverage.
And thank you to ESEA, I guess.
Mountain Dew League.
Yeah, Mountain Dew League. Yeah, we're wrapping it up. I just
Yeah,
wanted to
we're
make sure we
wrapping it up.
mention the league. Anyway, I guess that's going to be all for tonight.
That's
y'all have a
really
good
all.
night.
Okay.
Is this the real?